Wait, I think David wanted to come in chat.
Flip my burger.
What is this?
Not a gray area. This is
I imagine if people would look at a single chat log and try to determine anything.
Ban clip on LSF. It's so funny. Here is the link.
Israel is actually engaging in an apartheid, which is a crime in and of itself. Israel's doing a genocide in Gaza.
What? No chat?
What did they react to? I forgot. 9 pounds instead at the event and somebody signed an or.
You played a kid's game.
I don't give a
Chill,
chat,
buddy.
I don't
Okay.
get. I don't get what he says. I don't get this. Doesn't agree with me.
Base. Okay.
It doesn't matter what the context is. When it's a message that has violence in it.
10 years ago,
as a
since you
creator,
were
it's your job to contextualize and make it at least seem, even if at a glance that it's.
It's your job to contextualize? The link is in the chat log. What are you talking about, you retard? What am I supposed to do? Do I have to find a way to embed video in fucking text? Like, oh, here's DGG. I used fucking Claude GPT 4.7 to make the fucking ASCII text thing morph to the video that are linked in chat. What the fuck? The link is literally right there. What more? That is the context.
It doesn't look like that. It's his fault entirely. Like, yeah, if you want to be.
I need to learn how to do the worm. I need a worm on this guy.
Will guy, right? Oh fuck.
Oh. Hi, what's up? Wait.
I was just talking to one of the great DGers. I'm just joking. Sorry, DGers in the fucking disagreement room. He wanted me to tell you could steel man the Will guy.
I'm good.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm not going to cause a disruption. I should be clear, good to go for this college Democrats event. I'm totally okay with this public speaker guy, this Destiny guy wearing Mal cosplay. I'm just.
Wait,
I'm
hold
very
on. Are you streaming
disappointed.
right now, or am I having a schizo moment?
I'm not streaming. No.
Oh, okay. You're talking.
Yeah, I'm not streaming.
Okay, you have a college
I'm
Democrat
just
event coming up, or?
No, I was just making a joke about how
Gotcha.
they didn't let you in.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Okay. My brain is readjusting. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, my bad.
You were doing a bit. My bad.
Bro,
my bad. He's
that
doing
conversation made me want to fucking. I don't know. It was just brutal. I think I'm very disappointed in myself because I think it was so obvious that he was being bad faith. And I just need to be way more critical of these people. It's just really fucking upsetting.
When you say bad faith, and then when you say be more critical, what do you mean by that?
So essentially, whenever he's like trying to paint out an entire party as like a bunch of crazy people, or whenever he's being fucking incoherent when it comes to economics, and just not responding to any of my questions, like I definitely need to fucking hold him on that more. Because I think he's being very evasive the entire time, if I'm being honest.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't know how much I don't know how much experience you have debating like actual like socialist types, like
I don't, bro. I just started.
Yeah. Okay. So it's up to you if you decide you want to learn it or not. Because if you want to debate him, it's like a whole alternate philosophy that you have to learn. And the reason why it feels bad faith, he might be a bad faith actor. I don't know. Maybe if you dig into it more, like he starts to become bad faith. But the reason why it feels bad faith is because he's working off of an entirely different conceptual framework to you, in which if you aren't aware of the framework, you've engaged in a conversation that you literally can never win. Because tautologically, he'll define away every word in a way that you literally can't win. Like a microcosm of that was the little bit I just heard about like Israel-Palestine. It's like, oh, well, you're a Zionist if you support Israel. And it's like, well, I mean, I want them to have equal rights. Oh, then you don't support Israel because they're going to vote for it to be Palestine. Like the framework that he has set up is one that you can't really win in. So you have to take a step back and then you have to debate the framework if you want. That's just like, it's a whole other fucking thing that you have to decide if you want to do it or not, which is obnoxious and annoying because it's a framework that serious people don't operate in. It's just like DSA tier, commune tier shit.
I feel like you're going to have to, right? I think nobody in the last election cycle was combating the fucking morons to, essentially acting as spoilers for the left and preventing people from voting for Kamala Harris and shit. And I have a really bad feeling that that's going to, I guess, present itself again this time around once all these primaries are fucking over, because obviously the Zoran Mamdani fucking back candidates are definitely getting into office. And then they'll just start shitting on Democrats again. There is literally nobody, or I guess not enough people, checking these like DSA oriented or just like left, very, very left fucking crazy people. And they're just demoralizing the voter and fucking disseminating a bunch of propaganda. It's fucking terrible, bro. And then you have a dickhead in a fucking Mao Zedong cosplay at the fucking college Democrats event. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I gotta talk to these people.
I agree with you to some extent. I think for election level stuff, though, I think most of those debates can probably be had on like a policy level. Like you're going to be arguing policy with these people. You're not going to be arguing the like Marxist view of the world. If you were going to argue like a Marxist view of the world, you could either learn the entire framework, which is exhausting, and it's going to be so hyper specific. Like these types of definitions and these types of debates are not going to come up anywhere else because nobody uses these words the way that they do. Like the guy even said in the beginning, he was like, the way that I define imperialism can literally only encompass capitalist nations. So you're learning a hyper specific framework by which you have to operate from to even argue with them. And then I would say that a better thing to do, and I mean, you'll develop a feel for it more, I guess, as you do it, because you seem like a smart person, but find examples. Here's my biggest issue with it, okay? And I'm not like an expert on fucking Marxism or anything, okay? But I think that sometimes people get, there's an allure to being able to analyze all of history through your favorite framework. And for Marxists, it's like class struggle. It's capitalism. And you're kind of hinting at this, or you're kind of like nibbling around the edges, but you don't quite like hammer home, I guess, as strong as you could, is that some conflicts are really, really hard to explain through class struggle. And you kind of we're getting there, or you guys danced around it, but then he was kind of able to get away with it. The Iraq-Afghanistan thing, or like Iran right now, it's hard to explain Iran or Iraq and Afghanistan by just looking at class. It doesn't really make much sense. Like the economy overall like suffered, like nobody really wanted these wars. It's not like, but he kind of like weaseled away from this by saying that sometimes fascists act irrationally, which is just stupid. The reality is there's just different things that power people beyond just class struggle or just money, like for better or for worse.
Well, later on in the conversation, we revisit it. And it also like continues to go down the line of if America descends into like an authoritarian state or whatever, like everything's fucked, a quarter of the global economy just fucking gone or whatever. And he just gets to this crazy position to where the bourgeois can openly be advocating for things against their own interest, because that's just what capitalists do. It was the dumbest, most contradictory shit ever. Because we started getting into numbers. And I mean, the Iraq War was $3 trillion in the fucking hole in return for what, like 130 billion or somewhere around there in natural resources. Mm-hmm. It was just the dumbest shit ever. And then he would concede in the I guess the easiest way of not conceding. He's like, oh, that's a good analytical point right there. That's a very good analytical point. That's a good point. So it's just, I think I just really need to be more well read on this shit to be able to better counter. It's not like it's going to be significant to election debates or whatever, but I just kind of moved away from just MAGA people because we need the radical left on the front lines fighting, because we're getting fucked from both sides right now. Right, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, a little bit. It feels that way. Yeah, I mean, as you do more of these debates, you'll learn them, and then if you've got like libs in your audience that are really well read on stuff, because there are people that are way better read into this than I am. But it's worth learning. Some of the arguments are easier than others. Like that whole, like he kept bringing up one of his justifications for like a Marxist analysis of history was the tendency of the rate of profits to fall. Like from everything that I understand, this is one of the biggest kind of...
We talked about it later. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's a prediction that Marx made that just, it didn't really come true. It wasn't really the case that like all the profits were asymptotically approaching 0%. Like the rate of profit has been pretty steady for a long time. Like Marx in his lifetime thought that fucking sewing looms meant the end of all fucking society and that socialism would take over everywhere because there was no way to compete with fucking, like, it's just dumb. He made a lot of dumb predictions. It's not like a serious form of economic analysis. Yeah. But again, it's your arguments here are going to be hyper specific. I would recommend like one or two conflicts, like read into them really well, and you'll find that, and you were kind of like intuiting this, you'll find that very rarely is it just like big corporation wanted this thing and that's why we did it. A lot of these are also reductive too, right? When you talk about like a capitalist country and you say, well, the capitalist country is doing this because it benefits the capitalist corporations. It's like, well, yeah, but definitionally that's going to be true. But I mean, like every single Native American war benefited the Native Americans when they were warring against each other because you're a Native American and a Native American tribe, so of course it's going to benefit you. If we have a capitalist economy, then anything that benefits the country as a whole is also probably going to benefit some corporation. Like, it's so reductively stupid, and it doesn't really explain why did the United States involvement in foreign affairs change so drastically after the fall of the Soviet Union versus before the the Iron Curtain fell. It just doesn't, you can't explain it all. It's just kind of goofy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And another reason I'm not too critical is I just don't know if I'm, listen, bro, this recent Jake Lang controversy got me in the hole. There's a lot of people saying really mean stuff to me. And no matter how nice I am to these comments.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking brutal. No matter how nice I am to these people, there's just people joining up telling me that I, because I'm such a good artist, can paint the wall a really pretty color of red.
Jesus.
So there's also the me doing the questioning the opportunity cost of being really critical of these people. But fuck it, bro. It is what it is, bro. I'm gonna receive the death threats regardless. Just gotta lock the fucking and fry these losers. So
For the Jake Lang type. Oh wait, is the main criticism just that you guys like platformed
You're
him?
getting fried for both. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, bro. It's so fucking stupid.
I mean, I guess if Hassan's behavior is any indicator, I mean, in their mind, what lefties like to do if they gain any amount of power, because they're authoritarian types, is to just oppress the people whose viewpoints they disagree with and to just not talk to them ever. So, I mean, that's kind of the MO for all authoritarian
I don't know.
types.
It's just it feels very hypocritical. I wasn't he going to debate Charlie Kirk? Isn't Charlie Kirk a fucking Nazi imperialist or whatever? It wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but we're probably better off that didn't happen, because I'm pretty sure Charlie was like
Charlie would have fried him, bro.
I actually don't know if that's the case. I think they would have agreed on a lot, because Hassan.
Really? You think so?
I've never heard Hassan have a good debate with like a new Republican type. Like every time he wants to debate a conservative, it feels like he really wants to go in on like the ghost of Bush, like neocons. But Charlie Kirk is going to agree with him a lot on like big corporate stuff, and potentially, I don't know where Charlie Kirk was on Israel by the time he died. I guess if Candace Owens is any indication, he was ready to turn his back on Israel, and that's why they killed him. But yeah, I don't know. I think him and Hassan would actually find quite a bit of agreement on things. Like Charlie would have been pretty isolationist. He would have thought that corporations were destroying America. You know, he would have viewed, lobbies and stuff as bad. So I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
It is fried, bro. It is what it is. Listen, it just never happened. Charlie decided to pull out last second, you know?
I guess so, yeah.
Not much you can do. Yeah.
Well, anything else?
Amen. No, that's it, liberal.
Okay.
Have a great stream.
Yeah, have fun, be careful.
All right. Peace out, America. Goodbye, everybody.
Wait.
Not a gray area. This is.
It doesn't matter what the context is. When it's a message that has violence in it,
10 years ago,
as a
since you
creator,
were
it's your job to contextualize and make it at least seem, even if at a glance that it doesn't look like that. It's his fault entirely. Like, yeah, if you want to be edgy, whatever, yeah, cool. But if you're too much on the line, if you go over the line, I mean, I'll call it out. I mean, that's over the line. I don't give a shit. I literally don't care.
It's just crazy that like you have to provide the context. I literally link exactly what I'm responding to.
What I said. The message looks bad, and it is bad. And sorry. Next time you want to make an example, whatever, right? Make the context better on that one message.
You gave him a red card? Are you fucking serious?
4.5. Guys, it's a long video. Guys, it's 44 minutes. Guys, it's like 15-minute video. It's like an hour video.
Is that it?
Interesting. All right. And help with God.
Okay. Okay.
Down interview with ABC's Jonathan. During a sit-down interview with ABC's Jonathan Karl, Bill Maher said that his vote is in play and that he might vote for J.D. Vance in 2028, which means I am finally officially in the fuck Bill Maher camp, and we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel,
Just as a heads up, just based on what I heard from J.D. Vance or whatever, just as a heads up, if we cannot find a way to shake these weirdo, crazy, commie, Mao, whatever losers from our party, J.D. Vance is easily a more reasonable appearing vote based on the shit he was saying on Joe Rogan. If he can distance himself from the more problematic aspects of Trump's administration, if he's able to separate himself from the Iran war and the crazy trade policy and just kind of be like the standard sloppulist, like isolationist or whatever, that's going to appeal to way more people than looking at a party that can't say no to people that dress up like fucking Mao and Stalin and say they did nothing wrong. That's fucking crazy. Like, that's going to be the case. I'm sorry. Like, even the conservatives, while courting the votes of neo-Nazis, are able to disavow neo-Nazism. Like, they're pretty steadfast on that, on trying to say, oh, no, we don't do the neo-Nazi stuff. Oh, no. Even the Conservative Party can do that in the United States. Like,
please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks, we're going to dive right on in. This is about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I want to play the full segment because it's fascinating, because ABC's Jonathan Karl plays the devil's advocate. He brings up many of the problems that exist within the Republican Party and yet still probes Bill Maher about how willing he is to eventually vote Republican. It's a fascinating exchange. We'll break it down during the analysis, and then at the very end, I will conclude with where I stand on Bill Maher. But spoiler alert, I'm in the fuck you Bill Maher camp.
Outcomes. I won, you cheated. And you pushed J.D. Vance on this. He did not... No, that's what I love about those Republicans. The first thing I said to him was, it's so odd, isn't it, that like, I didn't vote for you. Yeah. And yet you guys come to the show.
and take your beating like a man. The Democrats don't come, and yet they got my vote. It's just odd, isn't it?
Yeah, why is that? So what is that all about? I mean, you get some Democrats,
Democrats are cowardly.
Yeah.
They're cowardly. Their party is being taken over now by, every day I hear about a new,
Christ,
very
bro.
radical. I feel very good about, like 10 whatever years ago, like I did lose fans because,
Like how, yeah, he lost fans because in the past he was fucking retarded. He was actually crazy. But I hate how you have these stupid criticisms, and then as time goes on, they start to become more self-fulfilling. And now the dumb shit in the past, people try to post hoc justify past retarded shit. Like people do this with Israel Palestine. Maybe at some point, maybe there's like some leaked logs or leaked memos, or maybe at some point Netanyahu's like, I think we're going to lose funding from the U.S. The Palestinians need to go. We will eliminate the Palestinian people in Gaza. We don't believe that is a people that needs to exist anymore. We're in a new time and a new era. And I'd be like, oh shit, he's on some that's some hardcore genocide shit, fam. He's on some actual crazy genocide shit. Just because I have that opinion doesn't mean I was wrong 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? But like as time goes on, there might be new facts that come out, there might be new behaviors that happen, and then you adjust your opinion, right? But now Bill Maher is and he's about to say it, right? Oh, I knew these guys were fucking crazy back when they were saying cops shouldn't be killing black people. So now I'm even more confident in the fact that I might support a Republican. It's like, Jesus fuck, guys, come on, holy shit. What happens to this era of boomer Dems that end up getting brain rotted with this stuff? I don't think most boomer Dems are. I think it's mainly young people and super white people and super wealthy people. Super white. I mean, look at all the DSA types, like the demographic breakdown from where their voters were coming from. The people online are all super white and super wealthy, like compared to the norm. This is why they hate the black people in the party too. You said you're going to talk to JVL from the Bulwark. I think that's scheduled for Thursday.
I wasn't going to go along with some of this crazy stuff on the left, too. I didn't change really on what I thought about the right, but I can't sit and just not notice stuff, which people seem to want to do because it's all about my team or your team. But, there's some crazy stuff. When we're cheering for the Intifada, I'm out.
Fucking
Well, I don't know if you saw
crazy.
Jay Clayton.
So I want to stop right there for just a second. So in terms of cheering on the Intifada, that is a fringe position that is not represented in the halls of elected Democratic power. AOC isn't cheering on the Intifada.
Like, this is true, but like, the president of Harvard couldn't condemn anti-Semitism. Jesus fucking Christ, okay? The conservatives run wild with this shit. And I know that they do have the media ecosystem that I talk about, okay? But like, when nobody in the party seems to be able, because we don't have a party head, we don't have like a speaker for our party that represents us, mainly because all the people that we do get, like, I don't think Josiah does this, but other leftists will spend all their time trying to tear these people down, our Pelosi's, our Schumer's, our Jeffries, whatever else, right? When nobody in the party can call these people out, then people will look at you a little bit funny. It's actually funny. I think if you go back like maybe like 8 years, did I say this in 2017 or 2018? There was a time when I gave a take where I said, it took me a long time to figure this out, but I was confused for why so many people have an impression of Democrats and what Democrats believe when clearly the majority of the party doesn't believe this thing. I don't know how so many people have this idea. And one of the ideas that I landed upon was that I think the reason why people don't know what the Democratic Party believes sometimes isn't because you'll get one mom to come out on Twitter. And I think this is the example I use. A mom will come out on Twitter and say, like, my 4-year-old is a trans person, right? Because how many people are doing this shit? It's like nobody. This is an incredibly fringe, weirdo, whatever position, right? That's fine. But then it's like, well, why do so many people believe this? One is because the right does do propaganda well. But another thing is on the left, people will jump out and like defend it, or at the very least, they won't attack it. And it's like, well, what the fuck is everybody going to think then if you don't say anything about it? Ugh.
New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is not cheering on the Intifada. There are active...
No, but like his wife and the people around him all seem to be fans of like your October 8th parades, and like that's just not good enough. It also comes across, and I don't even know if people have made this connection yet, it also comes across as insanely hypocritical when the same people that are willing to look sideways at so much insane anti-Semitism and everything else, the platinum tattoo and everything else. Remember, I'm being told now by people that 16 years of having a Nazi tattoo is meaningless. And these were the same people that were scouring photos online of people making the OK symbol to see if they were covert Nazis. What the fuck? How did the same group of people go from A to B? What? Like that just, it doesn't make sense,
this, and there are political commentators and there are political agitators who don't hold elected power, who may hold these very fringe psychotic positions, but they're not representative of the Democratic Party's base and certainly not the Democratic Party's elected leaders. So this is where it's like, Bill,
Bill, you're playing fucking RimWorld, man.
Oh yeah, do you want to start Rebirth? I can do Rebirth tonight if you want. Should I start Final Fantasy Rebirth, guys? Is that what we need?
How about some Minecraft, man? Yeah. Now we're talking here.
You're shadowboxing a boogeyman. I might have to leave the Democratic Party because a couple of these crazy people in a mass movement comprised of tens of millions of Americans are saying shit I don't like. Oh, are they the presidential candidate for 2028? Well, no. Okay, well, are they a Democratic senator? Well, no. Are they a Democratic governor? Well, no. Are they a Democratic representative? Well, no. Well, then what are you so afraid of? If the idea is that there literally can be no crazies in a political movement for you to support a political movement or a political...
It's when nobody can disavow the crazies, everybody looks at you weird. And they should. They're right to. I mean, like, and it's only growing as well. Like, you can make a lot of these same arguments about MAGA, right? Like, where the fuck did MAGA come from? Part of that was the Republican fucking their messaging up and assuming that movement would never get as big as it actually did. This was posted 7 hours ago by the College Democrat Association. That's what the CDA is, right? Or I'm sorry,
Yep.
the College Democrats of America. Fuck you. Jewish Caucus. Statement on Hassan Piker's appearance at College Democrats of America Convention 2026. By the way, and I don't know what other branches of the CDA or whatever there are, if nobody else comes out in the CDA and says anything and it's just the Jews, it's like a million times worse. That's going to be fucking crazy. You guys really just fucking hang them out to dry. But maybe other orgs or other branches or whatever will. Who knows? We'll see. The College Democrats of America's Jewish Caucus condemns the platforming of streamer and activist Hassan Piker at CDA Convention 2026. Piker has a long-standing history of anti-Semitic rhetoric, including maligning Orthodox Jews as inbred, referring to a Jewish man as a bloodthirsty pig dog, and dismissing allegations of sexual violence committed by Hamas on October 7th as rape fantasies. Good collection of three things. Apparently Jews are the only fucking people that can coherently advocate sometimes for their interests, but that is a good set of things to fixate on and not just random shit. But okay. There's even... Okay, yeah. Piker also has a record of misogynistic and anti-American statements, including claiming that America deserved 9/11 and joking about date rape on college campuses. These two are a little weaker, but still okay. They play well to the public. The normalization of Piker and his rhetoric and CDA-sanctioned programming is a direct threat to Jewish safety and inclusion within the College Democrats community. Applying a double standard to the safety and representation of Jewish students is a manifestation of anti-Semitism and is inconsistent with our shared democratic values of inclusion, respect, blah, blah, blah. Just proud to be part of the Big Ten of CDA's membership and stands firmly against political censorship. However, bigoted rhetoric should be disqualifying, and the choice of who represents this organization tells members who is welcome within it. Elevating Piker at this convention sent Jewish students a clear message that they were not welcome. Anti-Semitism has taken root across the political spectrum, and young people are particularly susceptible to its influence. The same standard CDA would rightly apply to bigotry on the right must be applied within our organization. Likewise, treating the fight against anti-Semitism as a partisan weapon only makes it more difficult to defeat. Amid attempts to organize a walkout during Piker's appearance, attendees were permitted to enter but prevented from exiting by national board members, citing security concerns. Delegates from at least one state were advised not to post photos with Piker on official accounts to avoid further controversy. Seriously? Holy shit.
They stopped the Jews from leaving. They locked him in. What the hell?
The CDA Jewish Caucus calls on the national leadership responsible for Convention 2026 to issue a formal apology for providing Piker with a platform and for restricting members from exiting the room. We further call on the newly elected national leadership of CDA to publicly condemn the anti-Semitic and misogynistic comments outlined above and commit to ongoing dialogue with all caucuses, including the Jewish Caucus, regarding future programming. Jesus Christ.
Did you see the thing that I just DM'd you?
Yeah, I haven't read it on stream yet, though. Hold on.
Okay.
Destiny, I was president of my college Dems and interact with National all the time. I don't think you understand how disconnected this all is. You're painting a brush of intention and structure that doesn't exist. No. What I'm telling you is how it will be viewed and should be viewed to the rest of the country. If it really is as disconnected as you say, then you should just leave. You should disband, and that's it. That's super simple. Why would you ever want to share a slogan or share a brand name with another entity that you have no oversight over, no control over, no say in? All you're going to be doing, the only thing that's going to happen is you're just going to be roped in with all the crazy shit they say. That's stupid. That's a stupid, yeah. Let's see. This weekend, J Street U co-sponsored the College Dems of America Convention. Since Hassan Piker be speaking, some have sought to portray our participation as an endorsement of his views. This is simply false. J Street disagrees with much of what Hassan Piker says and with the way he says it. We won't hesitate to say so, but we also reject the notion that the right answer to his invitation is to abandon the very spaces where our next generation of Democratic leaders is debating these issues. Debating?
Debating?
Is this President's Sunday? What the fuck? No. Is J Street like a real Jewish org, or is this like a capo, like we're like Jewish Voice for Peace or whatever shit? I don't know what J Street is. I know that they're
political home for pro-Israel, pro-peace, pro-democracy Americans.
Okay, maybe seems good enough. We had no role in choosing speakers, no approval of the program, and no say in who was invited. Okay. And then, sorry, this was...
You're going to get a kick out of this one.
In the context of this, thank you for your support. We are proud to be a big tent. Democrats exist on a spectrum, and we hope to represent as many voices as possible. We are proud to have our convention be co-sponsored by J Street U, who has led the charge for peace that isn't exclusive to either side. What?
Big Tent, but didn't allow us entry to sit and watch? Hello? God, if Shervine joined, he would get dominated in a debate about this. Yeah, they locked the Jews in a big tent, maybe.
Stop.
Maybe that's what they're talking about. Oh, $5! Synchro recently debated Trump with an in-law and couldn't gain any ground because all they cared about is stock up. Any advice? No, it's over. GG.
What is this? Statement from KU Young Democrats 4 hours ago. Believe that transparency, accountability, and respect are central to maintaining our party and core democratic institutions. Accordingly, in light of recent discussions regarding Hassan Piker's appearance at the 2026 College Democrats of America Summer Convention, we believe it is important to clarify that our chapter was not notified of his participation until shortly before the event. Upon learning of his participation, members of our delegation joined others in leaving the event. We do not endorse Mr. Piker or the rhetoric and statements which have generated significant controversy and concern among many Democrats and our fellow Americans. Members of our chapter have since faced harassment under the mistaken assumption that we supported or were affiliated with Mr. Piker and his views. That assumption is demonstrably false, and we, like our fellow students, should not be subjected to harassment based on it. We hope this statement provides the clarity necessary regarding our position and allows us to return to the work of building a stronger Democratic Party. Okay. Jesus.
Comments or someone
Hold on, somebody has a meme. They said this would trigger me.
within a comment, either comments or someone within a comment being like, "Well, Vanel's a millionaire. We don't need to feel bad" or something. I don't
Holy shit! Is this already 2 times?
remember why I even brought that up to begin with. This a while ago in the original clip.
Okay.
But a lot of people, and then when I said millionaire, as in multi-million dollars, and then a lot of people were like, she makes a lot of fucking money though. Why is she, like, someone clipped it and was like, she makes a lot of money. They obviously, like, why the fuck is she acting like that's such a crazy amount? I have been doing this full time for just barely over a year, okay? It'd be one thing if I was doing this for like 5 to 10 years. I have been doing this for just barely full time a year.
Okay.
So yes, I make a lot of money. I do make a great chunk of change. But so you're a billionaire then, what you're saying? But I'm like, baby, it's only my 3rd day out here, quite literally. I'm like, give me another couple years, then I'll say, guys, now I am. Now I am. Thank you. I am now, for now. But I need that's going to take some time. And then also too, you make all the money and then all the money's in your account and you're like, woo, woo, woo. And then I had a meeting with, cause I have to have like financial people now. And then they're like, oh yeah, actually, 40% of that, you got to give it back actually.
Oh
Huh?
no, she makes so much money that she has to have financial people.
You mean almost
True, dude.
Oh, Jesus
I remember 2 years
Christ,
ago, the first
dude.
tax bill I had, it was over 7 figures. It was like $1 million and 34,000. I was like, God, my life is so fucked. My life is so fucked. It feels so horrible.
Oh my
almost
god.
half of it? Yeah. Yeah. Almost half of it, you have to give it back. Oh.
How do you even survive?
So you're saying the amount of money that I'm paying to the government I could buy a house with?
That's how taxes work?
This is enough money to buy
Have you paid? Has she worked before?
a house, and a nice one too? Yes, that's true. And you have to give it back to the government.
Okay, from YouTube.
So that Trump can use it
Thank you for helping me pay my taxes.
to stop funding very important
Genocide.
things, and he could use it to play
Genocide.
golf
Genocide.
all day and
Or
shit
that.
his diaper.
LeMayo, true.
It goes right into his pamper funds, actually. Oh, okay. No, that's great. Okay.
Yeah, wait till she finds out how
so
much a
that's
missile
what.
is.
So that's self-employment taxes are no joke. Just so for
No
anyone
joke,
who
guys.
does
It's a
want
rough
to
world
work
out
for
there.
themselves full time, I am just letting you know right now that the self-employment taxes are absolutely astronomical. It should be fucking illegal.
Damn.
And now I understand why Mike the Situation went to jail for tax fraud, because baby, you're about to catch me in there too. Because what the fuck?
That's
Wow,
Crazy.
she only had to take home $2 million instead of 3.5. Oh no!
woohoo! In 1 year,
Oh my
also. Holy
goodness.
shit! How successful
Yeah,
is
she's
she?
just
What the
fucking
fuck?
crybaby.
Well, hold on. To be fair, she didn't say she made $1 million.
I'm.
She could have just made
She
like a
didn't
big
say that
six-figure
verbatim.
amount.
Sure, sure.
Her channel. That's the woman that tried to cancel Cutie.
Okay, so each one of her videos get 1 million views.
Holy shit! Oh, but she doesn't post that often. Never mind.
No, it's like twice a month.
Damn. Still doing pretty good though. Jeez. Okay.
And that's just YouTube. She does Twitch,
Oh Jesus. Okay. Well.
Instagram.
Okay. I need to finish this video. Fuck. I started.
Party? You can't support anybody, Bill, because any mass political movement on the left or the right will have insane
Sure,
outliers.
Bean wants to
The
come
question
in.
is how
I have to finish this video and then I have to do my panel at 7. You can come in after if he wants.
I gotta be
much
in
of
the
that
panel
fringe
with you.
view
True.
is represented in the leadership. This one is not, and Bill's obsessed with it, pretending that it's a bigger issue than what it is. But let's continue.
Nominated to be the head director of national intelligence at a hearing. Just had a
No,
hearing.
I'm on
And he was
vacation.
asked, who won the 2020 election? Did Joe Biden win the 2020 election? And he can't not answer. Now, Jay Clayton is a very serious guy with serious credentials, serious lawyer, former prosecutor, and he can't say who won the 2020 election.
He could Vice President Vance on my
your show.
Yeah, they can't because they know he's watching. They know where their bread is buttered. What's important to J.D. Vance, who, by the way, we had a good time. I had a good time with him, too. You know, these are people. I always say it, you know, everybody's a monster till you talk to them. You can disagree with them a lot. But, you know, he has to do that. Trump is watching. And there's
He
a kind of
doesn't
a
have
working
to.
thing with
Pence
those kind
didn't.
of guys. You know, it's like, you know he's crazy. I know he's crazy. I know you're saying this because you have to because he's watching. You know I know. And let's just not, like, pretend this is the end of the world because this is just what the world is.
Okay,
Jesus.
this is where Bill is almost unrecognizable here, right? And again, I'll save my full thoughts as far as Bill himself at the very end, but I want you to hear, Jonathan was very clever there. He's like, okay, so you're worried about this fringe view about cheering on the Intifada in a fringe part, a vocal but fringe part of the Democratic coalition that is not represented in the halls of power, in the House, in the Senate, in the presidency, in the judiciary, in governors' mansions. Okay, you're freaking out about it. But what about this powerful figure in the Trump administration, Jay Clayton, who was previously seen as bipartisan and respected and sensible, who won't admit that Joe Biden won the 2020 election, which you famously, Bill Maher, have criticized and condemned the Republican Party about for years. You said that that was your big issue. He even said it here, yeah, it's my big issue with them. Well, he's not some sort of fringe random actor on Twitter. He's not some sort of fringe activist on social media. He is going to be the director of national intelligence, and he won't confirm an obvious fact that Joe Biden won the election. And you say that's your biggest issue. That's not more of a red alert for you than some Gen Z TikToker saying that they're cheering on the Intifada? How are you at the point where you're weighing something that's infinitely less important
people around
and
the mayor of
significant,
New York
heavier
now,
than
it's-
something that's considerably more important and significant?
And the issue too is that like if they're dumb people on TikTok, then you should just be able to say like, oh yeah, these people don't represent us. But no, it feels like no liberal media person, content creator, whatever, it seems to be able to do it. And these things keep coming up to the national level where they are hurting us. Most famously, the BLM stuff and I keep saying the BLM stuff. I should say the defund the police stuff was a thing that we couldn't push back on, and it was somewhat ruinous.
You might have a point, if the House Minority Leader or the Senate Minority Leader were taking this fringe position, but they're not. Meanwhile, in the MAGA movement, the fringe, crazy fascist position is mainstream, and it's represented not just in the President of the United States, but also basically pretty much every key figure in the entire Republican Party, elected or otherwise. Instead, he almost sweeps it under the rug. No, I haven't heard about that. Well, maybe you should be spending more time on that bill than swiping through TikTok, triggering yourself, rage baiting yourself with what some cringe Gen Z, leftist is saying. And also, he says, actually, yeah, the vice president does the same thing. The vice president won't admit who won the 2020 election, but there's a wink and a nod. He has to say that. No, Bill, he has agency. Vance is a man, at least on paper. He should be able to, no, fuck, Joe Biden obviously won the 2020 election, Bill. What are you talking about? That's what a man would say. And now you're giving him excuse. Oh, he's got to say that because Trump is watching. Okay, Bill, well, then I guess we can just start making bullshit excuses for anything on the left that you don't like. They got to say that. It's for the clicks. They got to say that because of X, Y, and Z reason. How does it work? How do you totally strip the right from agency? They got to say that shit, man. I don't like it, but they got to say that. Meanwhile, have you seen what this 22-year-old on TikTok had to say? Maybe I have to leave the Democratic Party now. It's just insane. And then to say that everybody's monsters until you meet them, would you say the same thing about the cheering on the Intifada, nameless people that you're bitching about? Would you like to have a conversation with them? Would you like rub shoulders and rub elbows with them and treat them with charity? It's insane. We're finally seeing the full rot of Bill Maher's brain metastasize.
Now let's move on to something substantive.
But it is a problem if you have an entire political party, an entire political movement that doesn't recognize.
Are you closer to Maher or Maher? Maher. It's Bill Maher. Or Josiah on this topic? In terms of like where I would vote, 1 trillion % closer to Josiah. But in terms of like where the electorate is going to go, you can't lack the ability to police your party. And if you can't, it's hard for me to make the argument to an average American why we would be able to and why they should care. That's just really, really, really hard. And I think it's deservedly hard. I would argue that now we're in an area where we've spoken about this for a long time, but I would say now that like anti-Semitism is a not insignificant part of our far left movement in the United States, and we have no clearance mechanisms for these things. At least on the right, you have like a lot of Jewish, well, not as many Jewish conservative voices, but there are some, but like they have to kind of disavow the Nazism shit because Nazism is so bad that they kind of have to say something. And it's like, we don't really fucking, we don't fuck with the Nazis, and okay, Kanye's funny and whatever, but we kind of sort of disavow whatever. But on the left, that doesn't exist at all. You can say the most rancid anti-Semitic shit and call it, as long as you use it, like they literally co-opted from the gamer community that in a video game to like these fucking hook-nosed, stab us in the back, run all of our banks, run the fucking government. I'm sick of these fucking Zionists. And it's like, oh, true, the pig dogs, the Zios, the Zionists. Oh, okay. And then it's all good. That's wild. That's crazy. Especially given that like the Jewish people in the United States were the most cucked progressive leftists. When people like Jordan Peterson and all these people were talking about like, oh, you're post-Marxist, you whatever, scholars and trans, blah, blah, blah. They're all like Jewish scholars. All these people are Jews. Like that's one of the reasons why the neo-Nazis would say that the Jews are trying to destroy the white man and everything else, because a lot of your most woke progressive stuff was coming out of like Jewish scholars and authors and writers and researchers and shit. So the fact that that group can get fucking ditched by a bunch of fucking LARPing losers and nobody in the party seems to be able to say anything about it, I think is not... That's not good.
I love the Jews.
That's not good. It's not good.
The legitimacy of elections.
Of course. That's been my big issue.
And it's bubbling up in too many areas as well. I mean, like, forget, like, no, yeah, it is. Fuck, I should have a link to this saved. I'm so sorry, but, like, Hassan Piker is the largest leftist influencer on the internet, at least as far as streamers goes. He is on Twitch with 30,000 whatever viewers watching the Scott Wiener guy basically get lynched, and he's cheering it on, and nobody cares. That's really scary. The operation with impunity there, that there's no enforcement action on the platform, there's no self-corrective action of the party, and none of these people sure as fuck are talking about it. No lib-left people are talking about him at all. So, like, the fact that he can run with impunity on that to basically cheer on, what looks like a lynching of a super gay guy who's passed like pro LGBTQIA legislation, who's going to his 23rd year in a row attending this fucking LGBTQIA march, who doesn't have the pure enough position on fucking Palestine, and nobody in the party seems to be able to address that or say anything about it. It's not good. Not good. And then for Hassan to watch it all and say, well, if he really wants us to side with him, then he needs to, he should be supportive of Hamas? Bruh.
The legitimacy of elections.
Of course. That's been my big issue.
Jonathan Karl had to remind him of that. Let's move on. Bill says that's not substantive. Accepting the outcome of elections, that's not substantive. It's just a wink and a nod. I get it. You got to do it. Let's move on to something substantive. Like, again, what about these Gen Z TikTokers cheering on the Intifada? That's substantive. but the vice president of the United States refusing to recognize a free and fair election? Remember, J.D. Vance in 2024, when he was campaigning with Trump for the vice presidency, said, Bill, if he had been in Mike Pence's position on January 6, 2021, if he'd been vice president then, he would not have certified President Biden's victory. So that's a man with power telling you clearly how he would use that power to steal an election, which is infinitely more important and infinitely more dangerous than cheering on the Intifada by a bunch of powerless losers on social media. What are you doing, man? Isn't Jonathan Karl has to tee it up? Well, actually, that is pretty substantive, right, Bill? Right, Bill? Didn't you used to bitch about this all the time? Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, of course, that was my big thing. You're contradicting yourself, Bill. Let's continue.
In the beginning, before he was elected even the first time.
You told J.D. Vance you're open, your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And
the DSA represent what, single digits in elected office? So even the successful candidates that Maher Mamdani endorsed, they made it through their primaries. They will almost certainly win the general election. So what? That's still like 7? Like 7 members of the elected government would be like affiliated by the DSA. Even if the DSA is the DCA, the Democratic Communists of America, whatever. They're not social. There are differences between socialism and communism, but set that aside. Set that aside for a moment. Let's just grant that they're communists. You're talking about 7 people in a body of 435. That's the House. 535 if you count the Senate. And you're willing to walk away from the Democratic Party? Your vote is in play because Maher Mamdani's candidates won their primaries? This is where we are? That's the standard you're holding the Democratic Party to?
DSA, again, they say things like, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. There is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course. Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president or Republican do.
That's crazy too.
It's got a piece.
Like, I'm sympathetic to a median voter here. Bill Maher should know better, though. This is retarded on Bill Maher's part. But
right. A piece of the AI company.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal, or I don't know, he's an agent or something. He always wants 10 or 15%. So
man, what am I supposed to do with it?
Not to be overly fucking woke here, too, but on Bill Maher's perspective as well, undoubtedly, him being like a decently wealthy white dude also gives him a certain perspective on this, to where the immigration stuff, the crime enforcement stuff, the tax policy stuff, Medicaid stuff, like none of this really impacts him at the end of the day. So it's easier for him to kind of just look the other way, like, oh, what do you want me to say? Oh, it's bad.
That. So the DSA, they want stake, equity in American companies. Yeah. Well, the current leader of the party you're thinking about possibly defecting to, or the leader of the party who you say can get your vote, not in theory, but feasibly can get your vote, is actively doing these things unilaterally. I don't understand this. I don't get it. I don't care if you're centrist or moderate or progressive or whatever. How can it be that we grade Trump and the Republicans on such a fucking... What's your issue? Communism is when you have equity and stakes in American companies. Okay. So I may have to vote against it. I'm not saying I will. I may have to vote against the Democrats in the next election. Well, the Republicans are actually doing that with executive order, not even passing.
Like, I'm sorry. You can have one of 2 options. It's either a fringe aspect of the party, and I don't think Josiah is doing this intentionally, but you're running cover for these people by, it's either a fringe aspect of the party, or it's not an ideologically threatening aspect of the party. But you can't make the argument that, like, well, it's a small part of the party, who really cares at the end of the day, these are like a fringe group of extremists or whatever, and then say, well, the only thing they want is a little bit of equity in American companies. Like, we've heard the speeches, okay, we've seen the outfits, we've watched the rallies. It's not like this is like the Hassan argument of like, oh, we just want a little bit more healthcare. It's like, I'm not sure 100% if I'm buying that one. I feel like there's a little bit more radical of an agenda going on here. And I think people see that, and it's very obvious and easy to see that. And I don't think you can lie about that.
Legislation, not even doing it democratically. Yeah, that's crazy too. I can't support this person. I can't support this group because
it's funny because in a way, like I said, from my personal perspective, it's hard to imagine anything that would get me to vote for Vance over a DSA type.
Any Democrat?
Not any Democrat, but like anybody that could reasonably make it through, like an Ossoff type or anything like that. Even like an AOC type, I'm pretty sure I would still pretty easily vote for over Vance. I'm saying that as a liberal, vote no blue no matter who, whatever guy. People like Vosh have openly just said they would support Vance over Newsom. Like, that's it. I don't know what Hassan's position is on that. Hassan, I don't think would support a Newsom type over Vance. He just wouldn't tell you who to vote for, right? So that's where we're at right now. That one-sided, like non-reciprocated vote blue no matter who bullshit that the other side doesn't care about.
But didn't we just run through that in the last election, and it didn't seem to work out too good for these fucking lefties? Wouldn't they get the hint?
It doesn't matter. Their goal is not always to win office. It's just to like attack the empire.
Destabilize the West. Okay.
Otherwise they would adjust their messaging, right? There's a reason why they don't adjust their messaging. It's because their goal isn't necessarily to win politically. Otherwise they would adjust their messaging in different areas, but they don't.
Why do Dems listen to them?
Because these people, because Dems have an issue with criticizing themselves in a way that, like, I don't know, they just get mind fucked by people beating them over the head with their own rule set. They're like, oh shit, I guess we shouldn't attack left. Like, Trump is a bigger like threat. It's also kind of easier to hit to the right because like you're expected to, so you don't get much pushback from doing it. I don't know if you saw earlier. Did you see that apparently David Pakman's Discord server is being mass reported right now?
No.
Yeah.
He didn't even say anything crazy.
I know. Yeah, but like that's what you have to deal with from the more radical. So from the more radical.
Did you send him a message at least?
No, I don't even know where I'd message him from.
Oh, you don't have his fucking contact?
Well, I might have a cell phone number. I hate texting. I don't know. Maybe I should.
You should.
His sub is being nuked too. Is that true?
You just send him like a thank you. Hey, thanks for, kind of sticking up for me. Sorry you're going through autism.
Got it. True.
Some people in this group are threatening to burn down a house. If this is the way it's going to be, I can't support that. Gotcha. So what are you going to do? Well, I may have to support this group here. I'm not saying, well, I may have to support this other group. Well, that other group is actually burning down houses. It's not even just that some have said that they will. They are collectively actively doing the thing that some members of this other group have talked about but not done. And so you're saying, it's a coin flip? What are we doing here, man? What are we doing?
You want to see Democrats win in the midterms?
Absolutely, and they will, because it will still be a referendum on Trump. So I think the Democrats will do very well in the midterms. 2028 is a different story, because by then, this wing of the party, this new wing with all the energy, and it's not just a few people anymore. Every day I read about a new person in some Colorado and Wisconsin, somebody who is saying some variation of not defund the police, abolish the police. No.
There are candidates who are running and winning who have previously said, back in 2020, during the height of...
I think this is actually a loser point right here, because there were lawmaker Democrats that were complaining around the BLM era that they were losing elections because of the defund the police rhetoric. I don't think we can pretend that that was insignificant. Now is it that significant? I don't know where it's at now. I don't feel like I hear about it as much of it now. But that was a major player in at least one set of midterms, if not the 2020 elections. This was like a major player piece of rhetoric, I think.
The BLM protests after the murder of George Floyd, they would defund the police. No, that is not electorally popular. And I agree, that's not a position that the Democratic Party should take.
The defund the police was like a major lefty rhetoric that got taken mainstream.
Kind of. Or I would call this this was back when before they were all kind of made, or before they started making this big Marxist bend, they were super progressives. That was our very woke wing. But the problem is that the way that they end up defending themselves is through it's things that you can't push back on, because the things they'll call you are things that you don't ever want to be called. If you push back on the defund the police thing, you're a racist. And it's well, fuck. I don't want to be a racist, I guess, right? And so you're in this weird world where it's very hard. Same thing with a lot of the trans stuff. It's hard to call any of it out or say, I don't know if I'm fully on board with this, because people will hit you with the transphobia thing. It's oh, fuck, man, I'm not transphobic, damn. So it's a difficult thing to deal with. Oh, it makes sense. You agree with it?
Yeah, I'm a racist.
Okay. At least you're honest about it. When does Wick want us?
Even if
Probably
you
now.
absolutely believe that the police should be defunded, it is a loser. We cannot win on that. Don't say it. Don't advocate for it. Now, if what you're really saying is, well, what about police reform, where we, take some sorts of police funding and allocate it to, other resources so that police can focus on stopping violent crime and other issues can be handled by other people. That's different. But don't the slogan defund or abolish the police, let it go. But who's running on that now? And who's winning on that now? Nobody that I'm aware of. Nobody. So, Bill, you were boomer Facebook. Oh, shit. Did you see what's on Truth Social? Trump has just reposted this thing. All these communists getting elected in Colorado and all these other places running on defund and abolish the police. What?
No prisons, no police. What world?
Now, it is true that I believe Daria Liza Chevalier, DAC, I screw her name up every time, one of the candidates that Mayor Mamdani backed, has said that she supports prison abolition. Okay? Yes. Is that cringe? Yes. Although, I gotta say, the way the United States does prisons here, really disgusting in terms of civil liberties and human rights violation, and we are an overly penalized, society, the rate at which we incarcerate people.
See, even that is a little spooky to me. And if I was a median voter, I think Josiah would scare me if I was a median voter, right? Because police are a thing that basically every American is going to want some form of police. Everybody wants police. Even minorities want police. And the fact that you have to hedge so carefully, even when talking about police abolitionism, that's a little spooky to me. Okay, so you're not even Like, even that's a thing that we can't just take like a hard line stance. Like, okay, we probably should never say abolish the police. That's probably a little bit too much, right? Like, the fact that we have to hedge that is spooky, I think.
Is absurd. And I don't think that prisons should be largely private the way they are.
I don't know why. Sorry. Prisons. Every single thing I just said maps on 100% the exact same. Prisons, not police. I don't know why people in charge. Didn't he say prisons instead of police? It's the same thing. Jesus fuck.
People is absurd. And I don't think that prisons should be.
God damn it. These motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's something else.
You think it's about something else? I don't know what it is. Well, we can ask him directly. How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Me? Am I man?
Yes,
Here?
he's
I don't have a
talking to you,
fucking name.
man.
I'm man. I don't have a name.
Oh, Steven,
Thank
how are
you.
you?
I'm doing okay.
Sorry, I was just being. I didn't know we were going to be so formal today. Okay, it's more of a casual
It's
get.
Mr. Benelli.
Well, there are at least 3 other men in here, so when you say man, I don't know who you're referring to.
You know what? At least 3. I'm not sure about that. But okay. There should be one more coming, maybe 2, but we'll get them when they get here. I wanted to talk today to all of you because you were all directly involved in getting kicked out by the college Democrats. And I wanted to give you guys to have a chance to give your story, to give your take on what happened, and just to ask you some simple questions about it. One of the things that I kept hearing from people on the Hassan side of things is that this was like an official DGG kind of outing. I guess first things first, let's introduce yourselves, tell people who you are, what you do, and why you were there. And we'll start with North, okay?
Hey, I'm North. I do some political content online, mostly Twitter stuff. I'm trying to do more YouTube stuff. Do a little bit of live streaming. Never Trump conservative, I guess. Although I'm sort of reevaluating my relationship with the Republican Party, so we'll see about that.
Were you at the event?
Yeah, I was at the event. I was known as the guy in the Hawaiian shirt that was apparently there to threaten to kill Hassan Piker, according to the ops. So,
To threaten to kill? Is that why you were there?
that's what they. Apparently, that's why I was here, according to the Hassan fans.
Why
there's
were you there?
a Twitter account called Twitch Crackers that was calling for my arrest online.
Fun.
So,
Is that why you were there?
No, I was
harassed?
there.
Did you intend to harass him?
No, that's not why I was there. You can see on the live stream. I was there to get Hassan to commit to very ridiculous questions. So, one of the things I wanted to ask him was about baby settlers. Would he commit to the idea that baby settlers are valid military targets? And depending on his answer, he's either going to make his tanky audience mad because, they consider all settlers, whether they're babies or not, to be valid military targets, or he's going to make the liberals in the audience mad because he's going to say that you should go kill babies in Palestine or Israel or whatever you want to call it. So,
Okay. Well, we'll get into it. Mooten, hi.
What up, Wig? How's it going? I'm
you know,
Mooten.
It was
You
nice
know.
meeting you at LibCon, by the way.
It was nice meeting you. I'm sad we didn't get to get a beer together and have a longer chat. But
I'm
I'm an
working.
important, busy man. I was working as well. Working them streets, if you know what I'm saying. I'm Mooten. I run anything else with my co-host Dan and Steve. He'll be back soon. I was denied entry by the man named Cameron Landon. He is the vice president of the College Democrats. He refused to let me into the College Democrats.
Why? Did he give a reason?
He thought that we were going to make a disturbance and yell obscene stuff at Hassan Piker.
How many of these conventions have you been to? I'm just curious.
I went to LibCon and I've been to a lot of conventions. These were my first political conventions, I'd say.
Do you have a history of being disruptive at any of these events?
No, I don't.
No, nothing. Okay,
Nothing.
we'll get more. We'll save Destiny for last here. Radiant, hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, we're here. So you were kicked out of this event.
That
Are
is true,
are you affiliated with DGG in any way? Digital Ground Game, to be clear.
Oh, no, not at all. The funny thing is that like we tried to like work with Digital Ground Game like a while back because Darius wanted to start doing some canvassing content, but they were telling us we really don't want like Darius type content at any of the political events related to Digital Ground Game. And I believe he's currently still banned from that Discord. over some memes that I don't know the specific details of. Yeah, it's just really funny when I see online people talking about us being closely affiliated with Digital Ground Game. Oh, and another thing is like all the people we talk to over there would tell us like, hey, like please guys, keep our names out of your mouths. We don't work with you. We don't want anybody to think that we work with you and like all that.
No, they hate
but
your
no, like,
asses.
Yeah.
yeah.
Why were
apparently.
you there then? Why were you going to the CDA stuff?
Well, honestly, it was because so we didn't really have much to do that day, and somebody that we knew told us that like there was another like convention going on that's like LibCon, that would have Hassan coming to speak, and we were like, you know what, let's just go. Maybe we can go see it. We can go talk to Hassan, ask him some like hot questions because we don't really like Hassan very much, and we think his politics are very corrosive to at least like the current state of American politics, and yeah, and also while we're there, we could also like do some like political outreach and all that. Mainly just like to talk to people and get to know politicians and all that.
But so no intent to harass Hassan or disrupt the event?
No, not really. Like because I'm the one. Darius always yells at me for like for being too careful about things, but I really don't like the idea of just like crashing things and kind of ruining. Because even though we're not associated with Digital Ground Game, there are people on the internet that will associate us with it anyway because they don't really think things too hard. And so like I try to play it safe and like, guys, we can't really do anything here because like,
Got you. Okay. Well, we'll get into it as we go. Persec, is that how you say your name? I don't actually know.
Yeah, that works.
Parsec.
It works. Okay, it works. Why were you there? First of all, are you affiliated with DGG in any capacity?
Not Digital Ground Game. No, no affiliation. I'm a fan of what they do. I think there's some cool guys, but I don't have any affiliation to them though.
Don't work with them. Nothing.
Nope.
Okay. Why were you at the CDA thing?
So I was woken up and I had no idea that this shit was going on, but I figured out that Hassan was speaking at a Democratic place, a Democratic convention. He's not a Democrat. He's a liberal. I don't like Hassan and I don't like his politics. So we went out there. We wanted to go ask him some questions about the things that he said publicly. And that's what we tried to do. And then we got kicked out.
What was the reason that you were given for why you were kicked out?
So me and Darius went around the corner for a quick drink. We came back and then we just weren't allowed to re-enter the building. We got right up to the security and then they identified us as the guys who were streaming. And then they said to us, myself and Darius, as we tried to get back in, that they were informed that we were there to disrupt and that we were there to harass the attendees, which we absolutely weren't. And we didn't. It was all recorded live. There was no harassing. We asked some super easy questions to the people that were there. We were trying to kind of suss out like how they felt about Hassan being at the convention. And it was a lot of fun and there was some cool people there. But then, yeah,
before you were being kicked out, was anyone like side-eyeing you or anyone you interact with like yelling at you or trying to cause a scene or arguing with you, anything like that?
No, not really.
No?
Like there were some people there that like I think they kind of figured out who Darius was at a certain point, but that was like pretty late.
Okay,
on, and that was,
I
like,
can
right before
add
they
like
got
way
kicked out.
more. I can add way more details to that because I believe at that moment I think Parsec and Darius stepped out for an hour to go like I think get something from the car and like get a drink or something. But basically it was me, North, and Mooks, another person that was with us, or the girl on the stream if you guys have seen any clips of it. And we were kind of just like doing our thing. We're just like interviewing people, whoever wants to be interviewed. Like we would tell them, hey guys, like, we're streaming this thing. If you want to like expose, I guess like your profile to a large audience, and talk about your politics and what you do here and, and all that, like, we'd love to ask you some questions. People were generally very excited to do that. At one point there was like 2 people that kind of pulled us, or 3 people actually that pulled us aside, and started asking us things like, are you guys like causing trouble? We've been getting calls and texts because I think this was about an hour in of the stream about like they said that there was like they were getting texts from somebody that there was disruptive kick streamers at the convention looking to just like harass Hassan and just like cause trouble in general. And then the guy, like there was another guy, I think he might have been like the head of security or something. He like showed me his phone and there was a bunch of texts from I think it's either somebody from Hassan's camp or Hassan himself saying like there's this guy named Darius IRL, like at your convention, like actively looking for Hassan and just like causing a bunch of drama and like harassing the guests there. But I talked to them and like I told them like we'd already cleared this like stream up with a communications person.
Is that
because
true? Had you talked to a communications person?
Yes, I think Parsec can actually probably tell more about that because I wasn't like next to them when that happened. But I think you want to talk about like how they gave you the press badge, or they said that you can have the press badge and stuff like that, and you can.
They gave you a press badge? I did not know this.
They wanted to. They just
No, they didn't.
They gave us like press authorization. They couldn't give us a badge because they didn't have any because like this was a last minute thing. We kind of just bought tickets, but they told us like we can act as press and like record and do all that stuff. But
okay.
Yeah, Parsec, do you know anything more about the conversation? Because I think that's just how it went.
Oh, we didn't get Steve's intro. Who is this guy?
Were you given press authorization, Steven?
Nope, they didn't give me shit.
Okay, so did you guys? So I'm unclear on this. Did you guys arrive as a group, or were Steven? Were you a separate thing from the Darius thing? How'd that work out?
I think they were already in, and then we showed up. Me, Mooten, and then two other of our friends, and then we passed them by as they were getting kicked out, and then we saw them, and then we walked up, and the Kafea Leiden vice president was there waiting for us, and he got us, and he said, "You're not getting in here. You're not getting in here."
That guy was so mad. Like that moment we were getting kicked out, that guy was like almost straight up screaming at us, like saying like, "I know what you guys are here for. You guys are not going to ruin this event for us. Like you're not going to talk to Hassan. Like you're not trying to get content for your stream."
Yeah, apparently they couldn't risk having DTGers or Destiny orbiters. They use that exact terminology.
Literally, yeah,
to
literally.
be in the event.
Destiny.
We were too much of a risk, apparently. We're
Funnily
going
enough,
to do something.
where did all the drama come from?
That's crazy. Well, I'll just ask you directly, Destiny. Were you planning to do any kind of disruptive activities? What were you planning to do? Say no one had said anything. You were able to get in. What was the plan when you got there?
Okay, so wait, I forget. Do you have a music background?
Do I have a music background?
Yeah.
Not too much.
Okay, there's this type of yodeling. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I don't actually know. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of funny because I got into a lot of arguments with a couple of my behind-the-scenes people who were talking about different ways to try to sneak into the event to have like some huge showdown with Hassan and like ask him a question and push him critically on something. But I don't think anything would have happened if we actually got in. Like at most, we would have watched the event and like I tried to ask a question in the Q&A or maybe said something to him as he's walking away. But this guy scurries away so much because he's so petrified of any kind of like challenging questions at all that I don't know. I really don't think anything would have happened. Obviously, I mean, like this is I have to remember that I'm engaging. We're on like the demagogue level of just like saying random shit. But like if we're trying to be rational human beings, I would never disrupt or do anything crazy at an event because if I were to do that, it would give Hassan like the ultimate reason to have me kicked out of and banned from every single event in the future. Like that would just be the stupidest thing in the world for me to do. Why would I ever do that? It would be so dumb.
Have you? You've been to a lot of these conventions and events and things like that. Probably dozens, you would say, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever disrupted one of them? Do you have any history of doing anything, of getting kicked out from any of these events, or disrupting, or being a nuisance, or anything like that?
One time, a long time ago, me and a friend, it was a big West Side Creighton Prep football game, and we wandered into enemy territory after Prep won the game, and the West Side kids wanted to kill us, and they escorted us out, and we almost got detentions for being on the other side of the bleachers. But other than that, I have never been removed from anything in my entire life.
So in high school, basically?
Yeah.
That's insane. So they had, I guess, what was the basis of saying you were going to disrupt then? Like what was there? Did they tell you why they thought that you were going to be a nuisance or being disruptive? Did they give you any reason?
Nope. He says that he's not having that discussion with me. So
did anyone reach out?
No, he refused to talk about it, and then he said you need to leave. And then he started debating Steve, and then he yelled for security.
Well, not really. He didn't even debate me, right? He said, I'm not having this discussion with you. I asked for somebody above him, and he said, well, she agrees with all my decisions. And then it's like, okay.
So one of the things I figured out while I was researching for this
stream...
Oh,
wait, hold on. Somebody said, well, you're not removed from Charlie Kirk events too? I don't believe I was. We snuck into that event, and then I had two debates, I believe. One was with a really weird dude, and another one was with... Myron Gaines. Sean Kelly hosted both of these, I believe. And after that, their head of security approached me because he recognized me because he was a big guy at the event and he knew who I was. And he kind of approached me and he chatted with me a little bit. The way that a lot of the conservatives work, Charlie Kirk especially, and Charlie Kirk security included, was they want to be on friendly terms with everybody. And so I don't believe he ever kicked me out. At first, he approached me and he chatted with me and he said, hey, here's my number if you need anything, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to remember if they might have kicked me out after my 2 shows, though. But I don't think he did. But originally, he didn't. Yeah. That's my recollection. And that was a thing we actually snuck into and weren't supposed to be at all. So,
But to your knowledge, never kicked out, never removed for being a disruption, except for once in high school. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, hello, Mooks. Is that how you say your name?
Yes.
Hi. You were also kicked out of the event.
Well,
same.
Sort of.
Sort of. Well, elaborate
Yes.
then, perhaps.
I was the last person in our group who was left inside, and I was getting spam phone calls saying that they got kicked out. I was left with Darius's streaming setup, so I did not know what to do at that point. So I just reconnected with my group.
Okay, so you weren't actually kicked out of the event then. You were still behind the scenes, and you just decided to join them. Interesting.
I wish I stayed behind in retrospect, but yeah.
How did you avoid capture, I guess?
Oh my god, sorry. My camera shut off. Nobody was bothered by me at all. I was just being nice, interviewing people. I don't know. I just didn't cause a ruckus. I just walked out because I wanted
Did
to.
the other guys around you cause a ruckus?
No, nobody did. Nobody in our group did at all.
I can tell you what
There
happened.
were no issues.
Okay,
So
if you can tell me what happened, because I'm just wondering why she wasn't kicked out, but the rest of you were.
Okay, no, it's really silly.
Okay.
So basically,
hold on, Radiant. You got to do better at summarizing shit because you're the king of irrelevant details. Okay, so
it's not irrelevant. Okay, it's not irrelevant.
It's all relevant.
It's all relevant. It's all very relevant. Okay, basically, me and North. This was around the time when Destiny was on his way in. We're hearing chatter about him coming into the building. So I told North, can you go look for Destiny at the front? North was looking around him at the front, and at the same time, Parsec and Darius were walking back in because they were coming to also meet Destiny just to say hi. And at that moment, when they met North at the front door, that's when the security guy, I think the guy with the keffiyeh, saw them, and I think he pointed him out to security.
Cameron Landon, that's his name.
Is that him? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He pointed out Darius. As soon as he saw Darius, he pointed him out and told security, kick that guy out. And that's when me and North, I think, walked up to say yo, wait, hold on, he's with us. We're doing this interview stuff. And then that's when me and North and Parsec also got, or no, Parsec was with Darius, but that's when me and North also got kicked out. And that meant Mooks was alone with the stream, in the other side of the room.
Okay, so she just, it sounds like they didn't associate her with you guys, at least.
Yeah, it was way simpler than that. It was strategic. That's literally all it was. Just because me and Darius were getting drinks, we left.
I
Mooks
was
alone with the
prevented
camera
from
'cause she's a
re-entry
woman.
later when I tried to go in.
Okay, so when you tried to go in, why did they give a reason for why they said they prevented you re-entry?
Nope, it was a security guard that was at the door. I tried to go back in, and she just said, you cannot go in. And I was like, me too? And she said, yes, you too. And I just left because I was nervous.
Based.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess what has been, so I guess I'll try it this way. One of the things that I also have learned while doing research for this stream, I talked off the record to a couple people who are involved with the College Democrats. None of them, I invited them to come on officially. No one wants to come on in an official capacity to give their side. I didn't push them too hard, given the fact that if they're willing to kick out unaffiliated streamers for just being in Destiny's orbit, what are they going to do to the people who talk to us, right? I don't know. What they have told me is that this was a deeply unpopular decision. It was the board members that kind of overrode people when inviting Hassan Piker. And the second thing that I learned from reporting that I've seen in various outlets and an Instagram post made by the organization itself or one of the factions within the organization itself is that there was a scheduled walkout of the event, that people were going to protest Hassan Piker by walking out from his speech, and they were prevented from doing so by the national board members, citing security concerns. Do any of you have any knowledge of any of that, or were you, when during your interviews or talking to anyone, did you ask them about how they felt Hassan Piker being there? Anything?
Yeah, I did.
Go
I
ahead.
was asking around and interviewing people about like what they felt about Hassan Piker showing up to the event. Most people were saying like they didn't really care and that they just wanted to focus on attacking Republicans and that punching left was like not the time at the moment. One person mentioned to me that there was going to be a walkout planned. They didn't know how many people were going to walk out. They estimated maybe like a third of the people might walk out.
Sure.
You mentioned that Instagram post by the pro-Israel caucus of the College Democrats, which said that they prevented people from leaving the building to do a walkout, I guess for Hassan optics reasons, which is wild, by the way. To, like,
So just to be clear,
force
they're
people
the
to stay in the
Jewish
building,
caucus.
but-
Is what they call themselves. But go ahead.
Oh, Jewish. Sorry,
Yeah.
not Jewish. Not is. Sorry.
Damn.
Mistakes. Yeah. What are you gonna do? And then someone reached out to me privately, and they gave me a little peek behind the scenes. What I can say without revealing their information is it's a little bit worse than the organizers. It's worse than the organizers overriding like the younger people. They had a process for inviting like people to the event, and they just like ignored that process and invited Hassan anyway. And it was sort of like a ask for forgiveness instead of for permission. So it was like a very few people in positions of power just inviting Hassan Piker in. So
I guess, and this is a question. More
Wait. Can I ask a question on that? Because I haven't heard much.
Go for it.
Sure.
What did they say anything about why that process was skipped?
There were people questioning it, and there were people questioning it, like, why are we doing this? Like, what's going on? Why weren't we like consulted about this? And they said it's too late now. There's nothing we can do. He's coming, and then that's all I saw.
Okay. I only ask because I have a theory in my mind that Hassan just didn't want to announce it in advance so that I wouldn't have time to plan. I'm curious if that was like strategic, why he didn't want to announce anything in advance. And he wanted to
It
be, like,
might have been strategic. Yeah, as far as I know, it was within like I'm not gonna say the exact time period because I don't know if there's like that's gonna be too revealing, but yeah, like very shortly before they announced that he was coming, and people were mad about that. So.
So I no offense to you, Destiny, but I think it probably, and this is me theory crafting here, it probably was strategic, but it wasn't from Hassan's end. It was from the national board members' end. They probably realized that this was going to be a very unpopular decision, and they wanted to kind of get it in and slide it in under the radar. If I had to guess, I don't know. I have heard similar stories from people that I've talked to off the record, so I can kind of corroborate that people are telling me pretty much what they were telling you, Mr. North. But other than that, yeah, I could only guess as to the why in that process. I
just want to say real quick from a
sure
strategic party building perspective, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So like obviously I recognize that I'm a difficult figure for a variety of reasons to get together with. I'm never demanding credit from politicians that I'm helping, or like, oh, me and Mom Donnie, we phone call all the time when we're in bed and we're chatting about girls. Like I don't care about this shit. I do think it's particularly disgusting that when Hassan goes to these events, he always has it as like a last minute thing. Because what it does is it maximizes the clout for him, and it destroys the ability for his community or anybody else to drum up publicity for it based on him. So he's like he's harming the event maximally while giving them zero upside for inviting a controversial figure. Like imagine. Well, we don't have to imagine. It was the same thing with the Cuba trip as well, right? Like if you're going to go on an event that's going to be controversial and it's going to bring some people into respect or dispute, or there's a word I'm looking for. It's going to cause reputational harm. Or there's going to be like a huge outrage about it. Why not at least have the benefit of a whole bunch of Hassan fans or fundraising or awareness can be kicked up as well? Like he goes to collect the clout and then leaves them with like the bombshell fallout, which is I think disrepute. Sorry.
No, that makes sense. I think one of the things that we have to understand is this whole incident was anti-democracy, right? This wasn't just an attack on Steven, an attack on Destiny and his orbiters and all these things, but this was overriding the will of the members of the organization and having their elites basically decide for them, and in a way and in a manner, as you said, that was last minute, that maximizes his clout, but means that he can't really be questioned. People can't plan to attend, to protest, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a problem. It's a problem. How do we deal with that? Is there any what's the solution to that? No. No solutions.
The solution is you have to climb. I'm working. I'm just very far behind on this now because it's taking me so long to do it. But you have to play the politics game in the background, and you have to climb the ranks socially in order to make the connections to get people to listen to you. But I mean, that's really it. Like Hassan, authoritarian types everywhere they go will always try to maximally exercise their power to disallow oppositional speech. That's just definitional. That's how the authoritarian movements, including leftist movements, have worked in the past, and it's how they function currently. So if Hassan has the ability to cut you from an event, he will do it if he thinks that you're going to be a threat to him, of course. So, but all you can do is try to signal as hard as you can on the other side and build the connections on the ground to get people to listen to you, and yeah, that's it.
Wick, Darius is in the background.
I just hit the thing. It's unless he's on a different account.
He's on Darius' iPhone.
Yeah, he's on a second account.
Okay, well, we can ask him directly because there's been some questions the audience has had. Hello. You're muted on your end, sir.
Nigga, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, my fucking family's cuz, like, damn, someone just messaged me and said I need to make sure I'm in here. Give me like 1 sec.
Okay, well, wonderful, great. We have Darius with us, gang, and a lot of you have had questions, and who better to ask than the man himself? In the meantime, while he gets ready, I guess for Mooks, for North, for Radiant, for Persec, does this make you want to get more involved or less involved with the political process, being treated like you were?
Oh, more involved for sure.
Yeah, tell me why.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
I'm very oppositional, I guess. Like when people say don't do this thing, I kind of want to do it. And like it feels again very weird to like be told to like stop. I guess like we weren't really doing anything like crazy. Like we were literally just going up to people and asking them if they want to like give them free publicity to talk about like their platforms and politics and all that. And they really loved it. So it feels really weird that they're stopping us from doing that. That's why I want to keep doing it.
Fair enough. Anything else from Persec, Mooks, or North?
I've been radicalized.
I'm really not,
sorry, you go.
I'm really not happy. Sorry, I was trying to finish my sentence and then Radiant cut me off. So, yes, I am really happy to be a liberal in liberal spaces, and the more liberals that we can get in liberal spaces, the better. And liberals being kicked out of liberal spaces should only make you, as a liberal, feel more encouraged to get involved in politics. You absolutely should. Because it's not cool. It's not cool, and it's really scary. We're in a really scary spot. We gotta lock in.
Gotcha.
Tighten up.
Go ahead, North.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a radicalizing moment for me in like 2 directions. One, I did sort of let myself get a little bit mindfucked by this is something that conservatives usually say a lot, that like, oh, there's communists infiltrating institutions in society in order to like take over everything. And then sort of moved into the Never Trumper camp, and then I thought, okay, maybe that like line of thinking was wrong, but now I'm like, after getting kicked out of the event, I've been definitely more radicalized against like DSA types and like leftists who are trying to infiltrate institutions, especially like political institutions.
Yeah,
to get their messaging across.
Well, one of the damning things that Hassan is doing is he's proving a lot of Republican caricatures about Democrats correct. Like when they talk about Democrats, they're wrong. They're just making shit up. But everything they say about Democrats, Hassan kind of is. Like Hassan kind of is infiltrating these organizations, and the people around him are infiltrating these organizations. And I think this is a great example of it, of how, again, they put themselves into places and positions of influence and power so that they can override what the organization is there for in order to get their own agenda done. But Darius, are you with us?
Is my shit working? My camera, dude, whatever.
We
I don't
can
care.
see you.
Yep.
Yeah. You can see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Yeah, it's called a camera. That's what it does.
Like, you can see me dead ass right now?
Yep.
Yeah, we can see you literally. Yes.
I can't see myself at all. What the fuck?
Shit,
all right. Yeah, that looks great.
Okay,
all right,
so we got a couple questions for you, Darius.
First, how about the first thing is, I can't answer the first question, man.
Go
Like
ahead.
the radicalization. Well, okay, so I didn't realize that I actually don't have to do anything and I could just scare people. If I thought I was gonna have to go there and like actually say something, and then he was gonna counter me, and I was like, okay, I need to think of something clever back to say to him. I don't have to do all that, and I could still own these guys. So yeah, I'll make sure I attend every single thing Hassan ever goes to in the future, because I'll just get fucking easy farm off of him if I just go over there and just attend his fucking things. And he's just gonna be like, oh, I'm just scared of this guy's presence just because like I'm retarded. You can easily make me look like a retard if I go anywhere. Just say like, oh yeah, like fucking what the fuck is what's the difference between a senator and a congressman? I don't fucking know. Like I can't tell you anything. But they don't even want to fucking do that. So honestly, if I just know I could just fucking troll these people just by existing, I'll just keep existing.
Oh, are you I guess I'll ask this.
Wait, real quick.
What?
On that point, because it does bear repeating. I've said this a lot too, that there are certain ways that you act when you know that people are like marks. Like if somebody told me that that like Gisticle and Aiden Underground and fucking Queeman were going to show up at some event I'm at to debate to ambush me with an Israel-Palestine debate, like that's a debate I want all day long. Like I'm always going to be excited for them to show up for that. It should say something when the go-to strategy is to ban people from even being able to attend and speak. And it should even say something more when they're doing it preemptively. Again, if Hassan is so committed to this idea that we're going to disrupt, and if his audience really thinks that, then let us go and disrupt. And then all we have to do is we disrupt one time, and then you kick us out, and then boom, like now we've given you a reason to exclude us from every single event in the future. To preemptively do it when not only when nothing has happened, but when these guys were already in the convention and streaming and interviewing people, and there's like video footage of all of it, and nothing bad was happening, it makes you look so scared. And then I think I would already complain a little bit if this was like a DSA event or if it was like some commie event or whatever. But the fact that this was like a College Democrats of America event and we're getting kicked out from like a huge DC event, and we just came from arguably, I don't know, whatever, but arguably like a more prestigious event like the LibCon thing or whatever, that we just came from that and then they're kicking us out of this? Like, what the fuck? That's crazy to me.
Hassan wasn't even going to take any questions, so he didn't even have anything to like worry about.
Well, maybe I don't know. He might have been planning to do a Q&A, and then he might have ditched because
he ran.
It's
from
possible.
It?
Yeah, it is crazy that he showed up
no
at the
idea.
CDA to give a speech, and he didn't even do a meet and greet at the end. He just dipped immediately. That was that was really crazy.
Look, we had more GGGers in the audience. You know, we were
Clearly.
ready to ambush him.
Standing by.
Everywhere. Everywhere. We are legion. Darius, are you?
And then the final thing, and then you asked Darius. A final thing, just to do all of this on the back of wearing a fucking mouse suit to this was just beyond parody. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm wearing a mouse suit to every single one I go to now.
Why?
Why not, dude? You can just do whatever
Darius,
you
no,
want.
you're gonna focus. You're not gonna distract me. Darius, are you officially, in any official capacity working with Digital Ground Game? Are you a representative of them? Are you a member? Anything like that?
Wait, let me leave and come back and see if my camera works before I answer that question. Hold up.
Oh my god.
Okay, before Darius joined, I had a part 2 to my radicalization thing. And I want to say this specifically because it's important.
Oh.
It's not just that I'm radicalized against leftists infiltrating like political institutions, but there was a lot of optimism that I saw as well. Because there's a lot of liberals out there that were very supportive of us after we got kicked out, and they were very mad that that Hassan was allowed to attend this event in his fucking mouse suit, talking about the need to like destroy America and the Democratic Party. Like it was wild to see. So while there's radicalization on the negative side, there's also like a little bit of hope pill. So.
Okay, my camera's not working. Can you ask your question again one more time, Wick?
Sure.
Your camera is working.
Yeah.
Are you
Whatever.
Are you involved with DGG, Digital Ground Game, to be clear, in any official capacity?
Yes, I'm the president.
You're the okay. Come on.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
no. So at LibCon, I tried to get involved, and they completely were literally banning me. I come into Destiny's stream like a day before, 2 days before.
banned?
I was literally getting banned. I was getting blacklisted from them. I was trying to figure out what was going on because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go there. Maybe I can meet some DGG people and talk to them since I've been like in the orbit, I guess. And literally, all of them communicated they wanted nothing to do with me because of my reputation. And then I met some people after LibCon, and I was talking with them, and they're like, yeah, like you're cool, but like your reputation's like kind of crazy. We don't really want to be like attached to you in any way, shape, or form. So I was like, okay.
When you were streaming to go to the College Democrat event, were you streaming on the official DGG Digital Ground Game site?
No.
No?
The website for that?
I asked this because these are the accusations Daystalk has made against you, that you were acting as an official DGG volunteer, that you were streaming in an official DGG stream. So I'm asking because these are
That's
the
what he said?
accusations that have been made.
Yeah, they were titling everything like on the official digital ground game stream. The official members were on the official stream. Yeah, he was saying it over and over again.
No,
You're
that's
using a
hilarious.
clip of me trying to say that I was not affiliated and that I've like maybe done some of the call to action things in the server that they ask like everybody to do when they volunteer, but like I'm not like there representing anything. And then that was the clip that they've been using in the tweet. Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, no, the people there don't like me at all. I've tried multiple times to engage myself with them because I'm like, oh, okay, I think I can do pretty good content. But every time I've interacted with them, they've pretty much been like, hey, go do your own thing. And then, if you can fix your public image, we can maybe think about interacting with you.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that was clear and that people understood that the people, and I want to make this clear, there has been a huge amount of spin and propaganda done by certain individuals, J-Stock being one of them, but also Hassan and a lot of his lackeys, to paint you out as an official DGG spokesperson or volunteer that was going to go there for the purpose of harassing Hassan and his community. And I wanted to just clear the air and give you a chance to address those allegations directly, Darius.
Yeah, no. When I went over there, we talked to some delegates for UNCG College, and we kind of just talked to them. I talked to them about the school I'm from because I'm from North Carolina. They promoted their school, whatever the hell they were doing. We talked to people, and it seemed like we weren't trying to troll. I mean, I would probably if Hassan was up there and he did a Q&A, I'd probably say like a troll question, but I definitely wasn't there to troll anybody. I wasn't there like making fun of anyone.
You
If you
did
watch the
say
videos, I know.
you
Huh?
did say in your stream, one of the clips they used, that you were going to snark Hassan. Can you explain and elaborate?
I was probably just gonna ask him, old enough to count, old enough to mount, and that was probably gonna be the whole, thing. I really didn't have any other plans outside of that. That was pretty much the only thing I was planning to snark. I don't really have. When I say I want to snark somebody, I'm kind of using it ironically, so I don't really understand what that means. I'm not trying to actually go there and
believe you.
find him or
believe you
troll
when
him
you
or
say
something.
that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I guess, were you doing, was any of your behavior at the event that you can think of in any way disruptive or against the rules that you were given? Now, all of
No,
you.
I talked to.
Just
weird is
before you answer, because this is a question for everyone. And I believe you said this directly in your stream, North, that you were given a set of rules to follow. I'm curious what those were, but go ahead and answer, Darius.
When I first came there, I originally talked to the guy with the Tel Aviv scarf, like the fucking scarf thing. What's that called?
Cameron Landon.
Kafia.
Yeah, Cameron Landon or whatever. I talked to him originally. I told him like, hey, I'm over here. I just wanted to I came here mainly because of Hassan. But I'm also a Democrat. He was like, oh, that's cool. He said, yeah. He even offered me to get a media press pass, and he was trying to find the person for it, and he couldn't get it for me at the time. He said, just go around, and if anyone asks, just tell them I sent you. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
So Cameron Landon, the guy in the cafe that kicked out Destiny, he's the guy that said that to go and try to get a pass and to tell people that he had sent you.
Yeah, literally. I was trying to find we were trying to find the girl who does the media press stuff at the time, and she was like, we couldn't find her. She said she was on lunch or something because we got there like 2 or something, and we couldn't find them. So I was like, yeah, just tell them if you see them, just tell them I sent you, and maybe we can get a set up then. And then by that time, I already forgot about it.
That makes a lot of sense because the communications person was also a lady, and she came to us, and when she first talked to us about the thing after it started blowing up on Twitter, quote unquote, she said that she never heard of the stream thing happening, but it's because if what you're saying is correct, because I wasn't next to you when that happened, it sounds like it's because she got overruled in that sense, or she did get overruled, but she just never they never asked her first, but yeah.
Yeah, she came up to us and she was really spooked that anybody gave us any media clearance at all. She was asking me over and over who gave me permission, and I was pointing over in the general direction of the table of the people that checked us in. She seemed really spooked by it. She was like, I'm the person that's supposed to approve that. I don't know how you got approval. She ended up letting us go. So, hold on. So I have written here what happened. So the first thing that she did, this is crazy. The first thing that she asked me was, am I with Darius? Points over to him. I say yes. She asks, is he pro-Palestine? I had to ask her 2 times if this is actually what she said. I couldn't understand like why that would happen. I just said yes because I didn't know why
On
she was
day-
asking. It felt better to just try to blend in. My actual opinion is probably that he's not that opinionated about it, but that he's probably a little both sidesy because most normies are. I don't know.
Do you know
I
the
didn't know
name
the
of this
answer.
person? Who was this?
It was the communications director. She had like frizzy hair.
But she called herself the communications director of
Yes,
the event?
Yes.
Okay.
It was her,
okay.
and there were 2 other dudes with him, and that was also when we were shown the text message on the person's phone.
And he asked, and she asked, after expressing dismay that someone had approved or allegedly approved you guys of being given media passes or something. She asked if Darius was pro-Palestine.
Yes, yes, yes. She asked, is he pro-Palestine? And then she says, is he here to cause trouble? And I said, no, he is not here to cause trouble. And then the guy shows me his phone, and he says that he's getting text messages about Darius and has a link to Darius's Kick channel. And it says, this guy is here. I think he was here disrupting people, or I think he's here to disrupt people. And then he's saying, are you with this guy? Is he here to disrupt people? Is this true? And by the time we leave the interaction, it seems like he doesn't understand that I'm trying to tell him that, yes, that is Darius. No, he's not here to disrupt. He thinks there's no way this is the same person. So he's just like, you guys seem nice, whatever, I'll let you go. But in the text, it specifically said Hassan is concerned about this. And this same guy, per sec,
so
I know that
Hassan
you
was
also
named
heard this.
specifically.
Yes.
Hassan was concerned that
Yes.
Darius was here. So
Yes.
one of the things
Yes.
that I've heard from people is there any
Bills.
evidence that Hassan himself got you guys kicked out? That this was just like a decision made by the leadership of the college Democrats that happened to be there. But it sounds to me, if you're correct, that the tweets you saw were that Hassan had expressed concern that
Text.
Darius was here to cause trouble or
It was
disrupt.
text from somebody that said they were in communications with Hassan. I also don't know why this guy was even showing me this text if he was suspicious of us. I don't. But anyways, the phone, it said that he's worried about Darius, and then I explain that Darius is not here to cause trouble. And then this is the same guy that an hour before we overheard saying that he was going to pick Hassan up from the hotel or the airport. Per sec, I know you heard that part. This was the same dude.
Well, yeah, one of the weirdest things to me was like the discrepancy between like the dude when we came in versus the dude when we were getting kicked out. Because the same dude was like 2 completely different people, and the only thing that I can possibly think, like the only thing that I think could have possibly happened was that he was informed that we were there to disrupt, or that like it was a boss call from Hassan. That's the only thing I can think of, because he was so nice. He was so nice. He was welcoming to us. He like wanted to give us a press pass to stream the event. He was happy that we had eyes on the convention. And then whenever we got kicked out, it was like really weird energy, and it was like, I know what you guys are here to do. You guys are like, yeah, you guys are agitators. You guys are trying to yell at Hassan, ask him weird shit, and like, we weren't, but the energy was completely different from when we came in, and yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, they were actually super nice to us after we explained things. It was actually crazy just how much the switch was. But
And I tried clearing up that like I felt embarrassed that like I wasn't in the same dress code as everybody else there. I asked if it was like a problem that I had like a top with a lot of cleavage. They said there was no trouble about that. I know nobody here brought that up, but I kept seeing people talk about that, and I was like, no, we weren't kicked out for any dress code issues. We weren't being disruptive. Nobody complained about our behavior. The entire time we were there, nobody complained about our behavior. They only seemed very nice, and like they wanted to clear up that the rumors they were hearing weren't true.
Interesting. When about did it switch? Like, because you mentioned him showing you these texts,
Yeah.
but they were like, well, you guys seem nice, and they kept going. Was there a moment where, was it when Destiny had gotten there, or was it before?
It was like, dude, I'm 99% sure. I think I pinpointed the exact time. It was like an hour before Hassan was going to come there, because I heard Persec was hearing ops talking in the ears, and I was like, at this point, I was like, because I just got off talking to like 2 different delegate people about like my stream, and we were like, I was like just promoting them, and I was talking about like college and shit, and I was talking about what I do with stream, and everyone was like, it seemed like we were having a good time. We were promoting them. They were talking about what they do. But right after that, Persec like hears somebody like talking about like how Destiny's here, and they're calling him like Sex Pestiny and shit. And then when I hear that, but it's like literally like a group of like 6 like of some colored haired, like obviously like 18-year-old like liberal as fuck, like probably like socialist as fuck people, like just being like just gossiping about Steven and me. And I hear from Persec, and I'm like, okay. So I like,
We heard
okay, the
Hassan
block.
bat signal. We were just like, we got to take the heat off, so we left Mooks with the stream. We
So this is
went
within like an hour before. So I was like,
Wait, hold on. Wait,
This is an hour
were they
before.
really? Did you really hear that?
Yeah,
Yes, yes, they
because
were,
once you
like,
heard it, that's why
actual
if you watch the stream, that's when I'm like, yo, the block getting hot, team. I gotta get up out of here because you don't know what's about to happen, man. I think like if people are around here gossiping about me,
Can you
like
hear
I
it on
gotta.
stream as well?
No, you can't hear it on stream. We're like in a
'cause
corner.
I was the only one that heard it because I walked past them on the way back from. I tried to find a bathroom down the hall. I walked past them, and then they were talking about how they knew who Darius was. They were talking about his association to Destiny, and then shit talking Destiny. I don't think they knew who I was. So as
He was
I walked
like-
past them, they kept talking, but like I think they saw me then rejoin the group, and then they kind of like sheepishly backed off. So
epic.
Yeah.
It was really funny too, the investigations that they were doing to the people that we were interviewing. Like we would finish interviewing someone, they would go to like a separate table, and then like 3 different organizers would converge on them and start asking them questions about what we like. What I didn't hear.
Was this
I'm assuming
before or
they're gonna,
after
like,
the bat signal or what have you?
I think this was. I think it was right in the middle of it. If I were to think of like the timeline,
It was around the time.
So
So
we were
around,
at that.
Oh,
It
just
was
as a
around
quick-
that time that we were at the people with like the Costco pistos.
Just as a quick
Yeah, I was talking
thing,
to
I don't
people-
think I was ever able to post the footage of this, but it's funny that you bring that up, like them interrogating them afterwards. One of the saddest things in my life I saw was when I was at oh shit, somebody in chat just brought it up. When I went to is it University of Texas, where I was interviewing people who were like part of this big pro-Palestine group, and one guy was willing to come up and have like an extended conversation with me, and then afterwards, so many people went up to this dude and kind of started grilling him, and then later on, I would try to talk to him again, and he was like, "I'm sorry, but like I don't think I should talk to you." And we were walking away because I guess he got scolded by the rest of the group. And as me and my camera person were walking away, I looked and I saw this dude. He was sitting all alone in like the middle of this thing where nobody was fucking talking to him. He must have gotten insanely chewed out. People are putting defils in chat. Did I actually have a video of that, of the guy sitting there with nobody around him because everybody hated this dude afterwards? I don't remember how much we caught on video for that, but oh my God, it was so fucking sad. I felt so bad for that dude. Jesus.
Wait, I missed. Did North mention that like there was people like literally like security talking to every person that we talked to
Yeah,
right
yeah,
after?
that's why I just brought this up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. I missed that part.
Jesus.
Okay.
yeah, I was shocked because I talked to him as soon as I got kicked out. I think this is on stream, but like one of the guys I was talking to that again was just, it seemed like it was just a delegate. He was super cool. He was just like, "Yeah, dude, Hassan's gonna be in there soon. I hope you can come see." I was like, I just got literally kicked out by him. I didn't get to have a conversation with him because he went in, but I was like, it's like, no, I wasn't there. There's no disruption there for the event, and I was actually there supporting it. We had like 3,000 viewers of people with attention. The donuts. I was talking to Donuts for Democracy people. I don't remember the UNCG people from North Carolina, but I messaged them and I was talking to them about what I want to do for canvassing in October, and I told them like, "Hey, I'm really ignorant, but I just want to get involved, and I feel like I can, stream this and make it exciting." I don't even know if I can still contact those people after this happened, but I still want to be able to do that. Maybe.
I think so.
Mooks, you mentioned something that I kind of want to ask a little bit about, and this is to all of you though. You mentioned that people had been making comments about the dress code and things. Maybe you got kicked out for dress code. Have you guys faced any kind of harassment or any kind of like negative comments, and to what extent? And can you elaborate on what those are, and to like the I guess the intensity of it or not from this event, if it happened at all? I just want to, go ahead.
Generic stuff that you would expect, like people saying mean stuff about how I look and whatever. All of my accounts are like all attempted to being. People are all trying to get all of my shit. It's like that's. I figure that's standard for participating in stuff that's messy. So I don't really, but it's they're not being nice. There's been a bit of it.
Okay, but nothing over the top, right? No death threats or anything like that.
They are giving those in the Twitter DMs a bit, yeah.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
My shit got doxxed.
Streets are calling me like Tim Effie Chalamet, and they're saying that I look like cracked out and stuff, but nothing too bad. So I'm happy about that.
My address got doxxed, but I'm fine for it. It's all good. I'm suited up. I'm always dressed. I ain't worried about nothing, man. But yeah, no, they put up my whole thing out there. Type shit, but it ain't good, man.
I'm not trying to like
I
propagate
got it.
harassment, but like there's been some really crazy stuff that I've been seeing like about me and everybody else in here, and like just
What's the
I
worst
think it's
thing?
a
What's
lot
the worst thing you've seen? Curious.
I literally cannot mention it because it's like it's gonna
It's like a privacy concern to even talk about it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
There's also
They
just
call
like
me
a huge
Batwick.
string of like really gross sexual comments that are just flowing through. I think Justicle's
Oh,
Discord
yeah.
server. They have been all
Yeah,
day.
besides appearance.
Did you see that about Mooks? Mooks is getting absolutely ravaged.
Bro.
Which
Sure,
is
Mooks
just
and,
weird
and
when
also-
like cherries.
You don't have to be specific, but also like for Stardust gets like a lot of like weird, disgusting comments as well. And then for Kyla too, I think they refer to her as rape meat constantly over and over again. That Officer Nasty guy is like dropping so many weird, disgusting comments, and they're all just kind of like,
Yeah, even J-Stock was on stream talking about Stardust and
He watched like
Zugray.
all of our
Whatever
streams
his
that
name is.
weekend from us
Zugray?
just hanging out, doing like
Zugray, yeah.
karaoke and stuff, making fun of us. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they-
gosh, that
Whoa.
karaoke reaction that Justical did was actually insane. It's Justical Morale watching a live stream of us having fun doing karaoke, and he's like, "Look at these antisocial people who like
Two
can't
fucking
take it." Like,
VTubers
dude, you're
watching
in a
real people
Discord
having
call
fun, acting like we're the
reacting to
losers.
us
It's
doing
crazy.
karaoke. What the fuck are you doing? Oh my gosh.
Loser behavior. We're going to talk more about that Thursday. I got Zug coming on to co-host some Collins, and we're going to talk about the harassment of women from that side of the internet.
it's crazy gross. They have no standards when it comes to the people they're attacking. They'll go to any depths or whatever. You were catching strays too, Wick, in case you wanted to know. Officer Nasty, a couple hours
Of
ago.
course.
Is Wick retarded or bad faith? It's not free speech to physically disrupt a paid event hosted by a private organization. They're also harassing David Pacman now as well on Twitter. Justical quote tweeted him earlier to try to call him out, and then David Pacman's Discord mod earlier today was saying that they're getting spam reported on their Discord server, so they've had to log it down a little bit. And then somebody mentioned something about their subreddit, but I haven't gone to check that out.
One of the things you said on stream, I'm not sure if it was today or yesterday or maybe it was the day before, about all this is that one of the reasons that a lot of liberal creators don't come out and condemn this kind of behavior or these kinds of events is because when you do talk about it, you are bombarded with hate from all sides to various degrees, right? Like some people get it worse than others, obviously, and it comes in various forms. But no matter what you do, if you speak out against them, you're going to get a huge amount of backlash, a huge amount of harassment, and it's going to be very isolating to deal with. And so I think that that's what's happening to Pacman now is he's being iced out in a lot of ways, and he's going to take a hit. Hopefully it's not that big of a hit, right? Hopefully he can, he's a very large channel, right? And he's a very large creator, and hopefully
I'm
it doesn't
honest,
hurt him
Pacman
too
even said anything because he's going to get massively harassed now, but I think it's really good that he did, and I think we should
Yeah,
support
absolutely.
him through it.
Yeah.
That should be
And
praised, right?
Yes, if you're out here and you have the opportunity or like you know how to, get in the comments, like shit, support David Pacman for doing that shit. We need it can't just be like the negative comments against those who are out there trying to, tear us down. We have to also build up people who actually say the right things. So
Pichachu. Hello. Hi. You
Hey, wait. Never mind. I guess it doesn't matter. But like, I saw that someone just said the Kansas University thing. They said they didn't know that Hassan was going there. I'm pretty sure I did talk to. Maybe it was Kentucky. Maybe I'm getting too confused. But it seemed like everyone there knew that Hassan was coming, and they all seemed pretty ecstatic of it. I don't think anybody there. I'm sorry. I don't think you can disavow Hassan being there. And I heard who was the fucking person here north? Was you who talked about the fucking walkout they were doing? I didn't see
I was
that.
the one that talked about the walkout.
Who's the guy who said that? Because how the fuck are they able to this Kansas University thing where they did a statement or whatever? How are you allowed to do that when you didn't do anything about it? It seemed like everyone there knew about it. At least when I was talking to people, I was like, "Yeah, I'm excited to see Hassan. Yeah, Hassan's gonna be here." And everyone was like, "Yeah, dude, I love Hassan." The staff there was like, "I love Hassan. He's awesome." How is anyone there allowed to now after backlash say "Yeah, it sucked"?
Well,
we don't
just
support
to be
that.
clear, from what I heard, when the announcement was made that Hassan was going to be there was a large amount of pushback, right, from people within positions, right, that they were like, "Wait, who's coming? We don't like this. We object to this." And there was a walkout planned, but they were prevented from doing the walkout. Now, again, to the extent of how many people were going to be involved in the walkout, I don't know. But this is corroborated by North hearing this from on-the-ground sources, as well as the announcement from the Jewish Coalition's Instagram and people I've talked to specifically who aren't going on the record. So it's not just out of our ass here, right?
Yeah, you also got to keep in mind, like, it's probably a bit by design that everything was announced at the last minute, because it probably does make it hard to organize or stage some type of walkout or protest or whatever, because now who knows what you're going to do? Their leadership might not be on the ground, and this speaker is coming on in an hour or less, or, you know, who knows? Or no, it was probably a couple hours, but like, you just don't really have time to effectively organize, and they probably don't even have those organizing bodies. Like, why would you have a sub-organized thing in the DCA event to protest inside the DCA event? Like, you just wouldn't even have the coordination level for that. It would be difficult to do, I think.
Absolutely. Pichachu, can you give us your perspective? You were there when all this went down?
Oh, yes, I was.
Tell us about it from your perspective. Were you kicked out? When were you kicked out? When did you?
Yeah.
Were you? Yeah, go ahead.
I was kicked out with the boys, with Moot and Steve. I was so excited to go and sit down at like a political conference. I'm not as like online politically involved as everyone else is, so I don't really get to do that stuff very often. And I was excited to like sit down and like learn stuff. And then we got to the front, and everything went really well through security, and we were, you know, like having a good time talking to the security guard. Everyone was so friendly. And then when it was time to like give the name and the tickets, they were like, "What's your name?" And then Steven said, "I'm Steven." And then this guy's face just got really serious. And he was like, "Okay, wait a minute." And then he looked down at his phone and he started fucking texting someone hardcore. And that's when I was like, okay, this is gonna be a problem, isn't it? And then yeah, they told us to leave.
Were you?
That was the video.
You were there videotaping, right? Were they? Were you planning to do anything disruptive there? Well, what was your plan when you got there? You said you wanted to sit down and learn and just kind of attend the conference.
Yeah, I was excited to sit there and see what I agreed with and disagreed with. I was there as a supple young mind ready to be molded. And I was excited to see if I disagreed with stuff, maybe like chuckle to myself here or there. I think I would have probably agreed with because it's like liberal, and I'm a liberal, so I probably would have agreed with like most of the stuff that they said. But even if I disagreed with something, I don't know, like.
And you
I
were
wouldn't
kicked
have
out with the rest of them. Did they give you a reason why they were kicking you specifically out?
No. But they were everyone was being so calm. It was just us. But they called security on us. So I was just like, okay.
Cameron Landon called for security, yeah.
Yeah.
Security.
No.
True. Security.
Security.
He was really scared, man. I wasn't planning on recording anything. I just the way that he like responded to Steven, he was like, "Steven?" And then the way that he went on his phone, I was like, okay, some shit's about to go down. And content brain.
How come you guys were able to stay in? Like literally all of us, we got escorted out the building, and security was just standing at the door, staring at us, making sure we don't come back in. Like, it was
well, we didn't
so
even
weird.
get badges or anything to go in at all. So I mean, maybe that's why,
Okay.
because they figured we wouldn't be able to get in anywhere.
I mean, we did. We paid for our tickets. That's the crazy thing too.
Did
is
you
we all paid,
guys?
like $60?
Did any of you get your money back? Yeah,
I got mine back today. So did North, I think.
not get our money
No,
back.
hold on.
Actually,
Official disclaimer: I did get an email from the College Immigrants of America. My ticket and Darius's ticket, because I paid for him, were refunded to me. Now I don't know about anyone else, but
I also got an email, and I got
that some of the pressure.
I got 3 of the tickets refunded, and I think that's what
Okay.
I purchased.
Okay,
It
well,
was-
that
I think
was-
that's,
one
I
of
think
those
it's all
was
of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did.
Fair enough. So at least that's true. Steven, did you get your tickets refunded?
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
At least they did that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Let's read a few of these super chats for you guys. $10 from It's Vishy. Destiny. Would you consider doing a call-in stream or something with the many college Dems who wanted to see you or condemned leadership's protection of Hassan? The Kansas University College Dems already condemned Hassan.
I mean, if any of them wanted to, yeah, sure. I think I put out feelers through the DGG poll guys to see what the appetite was for something like that. But also, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Sure. $2 from Linus Clark. Please have IRI on these panels. I love you, Wick. If IRI wants to come on a show, I'd be happy to have him. Yeah, just he has to hit me up and tell me a time and what he wants to talk about, and we'll make it happen. €5, I should say, from Rex Gardner. Hassan kicking Destiny and any in his orbit proved everything Destiny said about Hassan. Destiny did more for Democrats. Hassan is a clown. Thank you for the $5. $5 from Mr. Chris Bennett. Unfortunately, this shit won't change unless more voices speak out. Where was Mockler's condemnation? Where was Brian Tyler Cohen's condemnation? And I'm just curious, like you're I don't know if I want to say friends, but you're associates with Mockler and you've worked with all these people in the past. Have they reached out privately to you at all to ask about this situation, Destiny?
No, but I also probably was a little aggressive over the past few days, so I wouldn't expect them to. But the consensus behind the scenes is basically it's free money to just kind of like bash Trump all day, and attacking the left doesn't do as well for your viewership metrics. And it also invites a lot of like critical blowback because some of these people will either stop watching you or they'll start harassing you or they'll, like start shitting up your comment section. So it's just not worth it for a lot of them, unfortunately. I say not worth it. I mean, I would argue it should be worth it if you're embarked on a political project and not just trying to like maximize the money you're making. But I mean, it is what it is.
Because there is a argument that I have heard, and I don't know how to kind of convince people that this isn't true. But the argument is that we need to focus on Trump now, that all this talk about interfaction fighting is a distraction. It makes us look weak, and it makes it harder for us to win elections in the midterms in 2028 because we're busy fighting each other instead of fighting Trump. So we shouldn't focus any of our attention on Hassan. Trump is the president. Trump has the power. Trump's in office. MAGA is in office. They have executive power and congressional control. So why should we do anything about Hassan right now? Because
good question.
Trump is the main target.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they can't do that. I don't know why Hassan feels the need to call me a rapist, pedophile every single day, or why the only people these guys seem to have any heat for are other Democrats. As soon as they start focusing more on real politics, like being substantive in their critique of other people's political positions, like mine, or as soon as they start attacking MAGA and not just constantly going after moderate Dems or attacking the entirety of the United States and trying to raise up the reputation of fucking Stalin and Mao, then yeah, I think that'd be good. But in the meantime, if they're going to be a cancer inside the party, you have to address it. You can't just sit there and ignore it and pretend it'll go away. It'll just grow, especially when all they do is attack us.
Fair enough. $5 from Audacity. I hear that Vice President guy was really 3 doobies in a trench coat. Well, maybe. $5 from Dirty Deeds. Cultural Marxism proven to exist once again. It's almost like they wrote this down 80 years ago, exactly how to do exactly what they are doing. As outside of Hassan, how serious should we take things like this? This entryism, I guess, that's going on. Is this something that is more widespread than we've been?
We shouldn't have to take it seriously at all because it should be very easy for people to just say like, oh no, this is wacky. So like what should have happened when Hassan started firing off all of his text messages, I guarantee you he probably also threatened to pull himself from the event. Not like directly, but something along the lines of like, I don't know if I feel safe coming if he's there. I'm sure he was saying shit like that. It should just be an easy like, oh, okay, well, if you're not comfortable coming, like that's fine, but we're not going to exclude people from the event unless they engage in some kind of bad behavior first. This is the policy that I have for all my events. I don't preemptively exclude anybody from any of the things that I go to. And especially for Hassan to be walking out here talking about how brave he was doing events right after Charlie Kirk when he used that as an excuse to cancel events for at least a month, I think. No, it's cringe. Like, it shouldn't be a big problem because we should be able to easily say, hey, this is dumb. Like, this is not how we do this isn't how we do politics on the Democratic side. But if people aren't willing to say that, well, now it's a huge problem.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
How common is it for people to not be allowed into events because they disagree with the opinions of other people? Like the university that I went to, and I'm sure other universities, which I won't get into the specific one, but we would have speakers sometimes, and like as like a more lefty person, sometimes they would have on more like conservative speakers, but all of the like lefty friends that I was friends with, we would go to those things, or like they would go, and you would never get kicked out just for disagreeing.
Unfortunately, in the U.S., I think our colleges have had a reputation for a while for being a little bit exclusionary. Conservatives kind of dealt with this, but then they also were fucking crazy. Like Milo got excluded from a lot, but he was also like posting the information of individual trans people that ended up getting harassed and shit. So it's hard to say, but generally speaking, you tolerate like people that are at your university that you disagree with. Like, I don't think I would have I'm not sure if I would have predicted that this would have happened or not.
But like, even like, for example, you see those YouTube videos of like Ben Shapiro, and there are tons of people that adamantly disagree with him that want to make him look like a fool on stage by asking questions. But they're still allowed in because, I mean, he feels that he can like argue with them, and shouldn't we do the same thing? To just be like,
Well, isn't the fundamental
argue
nature of
and
that like
win.
different?
Well, hold on. I would say that we should be able to do that same thing, but I would argue that everybody does politics right now in the United States. Like, you see Ben Shapiro doing that. These are college events where he's going to basically smurf in like a bronze server as a grandmaster, and he won't announce where he's going until literally, well, sometimes until after the video is
Like
posted.
day of.
Yeah, there's a reason why those guys, Crowder and Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk, all these guys pretended that they were great debaters, but they would just ambush college kids that weren't ready to deal with them. That was their MO for sure. So Hassan is
I would
technically
say-
in line with all of the weirdo authoritarian types on the right. This is just how everybody functions. Nobody wants to actually be critically challenged on anything.
Okay, but
Interesting.
just real quick before we go on, because I think this is worth addressing. $10 from Admiral Love. Can you ask Destiny to address that Discord screenshot floating around about how it would be justified or justifiable to kill Hassan in Minecraft?
Yeah, so one
That's
of the big...
what I've been seeing used to justify keeping him out.
Sure. So, I mean, you can click the link beforehand. There's two ways, a precise way and a macro way that this talking about is really fucking annoying to me. So in the precise way, I'm responding particularly to a video that I've linked in there. Nobody obviously plays the video because nobody gives a fuck. But in that video, Hassan is talking about, it's just another broad justification for why you can kill essentially any Israeli citizen. And this is at a time when the harassment against Ela and Ethan Klein was at its peak, basically, after they'd had skulls mailed to them, CPS called on them. And Hassan goes out of his way to amplify his statement of like, this is why you can attack people who are IDFs and raiding the West Bank, even your favorite YouTuber's wife. And it was just like it was an unhinged statement to make. And then in watching that, because again, with all the harassment, I think I quoted this or I linked the VOD or whatever. And I was like, the same argument, you can justify killing Hassan, basically, is I think more or less what I said. I don't know the exact quote. Everybody's seen this message posted a million times, but it's basically essentially that. But I think it's the annoying thing. So that's on the precise thing. It's pretty obvious to see what I'm responding to, number one. But number two, the annoying thing is that, like, if there was ever a canary in the coal mine for people on the left getting murdered, I'm pretty sure it would be me. Like, I've been swatted fucking half a dozen times over the past year and a half. Like, I have so much harassment and shit that shows up. I've been demonetized on YouTube. I'm permabanned from Twitch. Like, Hassan is not like threatened at all. So the idea that somehow he's the one who's like under pressure or whatever is ridiculous. If anybody's going to get assassinated at some event, it's probably going to be me or somebody in my... I imagine it would be somebody in me or my orbit first. That would just be my guess.
It's gonna be you or Trump, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Well, I'll make sure to sit a couple seats away from you, okay, next time we're doing an event together in real life, just in case. Okay, I don't want to get any blood on my suit. Or
I haven't watched, apparently I missed these, but because my editor...